Oh, nonstop.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's next level stuff.
Yeah.
There. That's
What kind of bachelor
that
are
puts
you?
me to
You put up a
shame.
Christmas tree?
It's not great, but I love it. I love to look at it.
So I'm single
what do you got,
like
a
you.
6-footer?
No.
Oh.
No,
Four-
just a little
four-footer?
guy. Yeah, it's a little guy.
Oh, a little
And
bit.
I got a Charlie Brown Christmas tree that
I got one of those
pull
too.
out. I'll do it like the week before Christmas, and I get a smelly candle, and that's it.
That's all you need, really.
Because the taking down of Christmas stuff when you
Awful.
were a kid, it was miserable.
Awful.
Right? Did you
Yeah.
not remember that?
Yeah,
And
the
you
ornaments, the memories.
Yeah, the
As
memory.
But
you're
you never-
taking the ornaments down and you're remembering that Christmas back in
No.
1978.
You're just pulling them off and you're throwing them in there, and then you're suffering the consequences of when you open the boxes this year. You're like, oh, I should have taken more time and been a little more judicious with taking it down and rolling
That's
the lights
right.
up,
That's
etc.
right.
We've still got the Yaya Tula Christmas thing, the ornament that she gave us.
The Yaya Tula?
Yeah, Georgianne's grandmother.
You call her the Yaya Tula?
She was Yaya Tula. Yaya's grandma, and Tula was her name.
Oh,
She was Yaya. She was.
I thought it was a
Ayatollah.
play on the Ayatollah.
That's what I thought.
No, the Ayatollah gave us this wonderful little ornament. It's one of the first ornaments that we put on the tree every Christmas. Looking forward to that. My mother had given us a bunch of musical notes that we hang on. The kids don't like those, but doesn't matter. They don't live there anymore.
That's
Uh-huh.
right.
So yeah, I love decorating for Christmas. Cannot wait.
So when will you do it?
As soon
When
as
he's
I'm told. As soon as I'm told. And then you got the outdoor, the little nets of lights that go over the shrubs out there in the front yard.
So what I am saying is there is this, and has been for years, this pushback against the early decorating for Christmas.
Yeah.
People going into the store and they see the displays going up and they get mad. It's too early for this. Why are we doing this now? No.
I'm one of those.
It's time.
It's Christmas.
Christmas time,
The
if you
season.
celebrate it, is the best.
Yes.
It is the best.
Yes.
And so you only really, if you play by everybody else's stupid rules, you only get it for a month.
Exactly.
The way I see it is it's so good, we should celebrate it for 2 months.
Yep.
And it's
Oh,
okay to
my.
celebrate Christmas time leading up to things. Thanksgiving is just a 1-day thing. Christmas
Oh.
is a whole spirit for weeks.
Yeah.
So extend it through November. We're getting started on November 1st.
What's messed up is that the listeners are going to have to listen to you and Amy both, because you guys are like on Christmas cocaine, the both of you. You guys are into that stuff.
So
Well, I'm just
We just-
saying,
we
it
like
could
to-
be a little
and the
overwhelming.
movies,
we like to bring joy and
the
happiness.
movies, they're bad.
Oh, the movie. The music, really. It's about
The
the
music,
music.
it-
Is the radio station down the hall started playing Christmas
I
nonstop
don't
yet?
know.
Not yet, but it's
we have
gonna
more
happen.
spirit than they do.
Going to happen. And but the movies, they got these Hallmark movies where
Yeah.
she's
Ugh.
entering the baking contest there in the
Sounds like
town,
purgatory to me.
and
I think it's great.
she
I
meets this rude guy, who's just rude.
Yeah, he's terrible.
He's horrible.
And then she meets somebody at the pumpkin patch.
yeah, but
Or
she falls in
something.
love with the rude guy.
Oh, but then she finds a better guy.
But then she ends up with the rude guy because that's the way these things go.
No, not in
And,
the Hallmark movies.
Yes, and then they ends up she wins the baking contest.
Are you mixing formulas? Because usually it's the rude guy winds up killing her. And that's Dateline
What
I'm
the
thinking
hell?
of.
Yeah,
That's not a Christmas
No,
movie.
well, it was a cold
I'll tell you
December.
what,
in
wouldn't that be
Keith
wouldn't that be
Morrison.
a hell of a curveball on a Hallmark movie? Is that at the end one of them gets murdered?
Well,
We're
man, have you ever
expecting a
watched
love
those
story.
da-
Whoa, he killed her?
Datelines? It's always the boyfriend or the husband.
Well, yeah, everybody knows that.
There's 6 minutes of content. The rest of it's just previewing what they've already shown you and what they're gonna tell you.
Sometimes it's the neighbor.
Ooh, really?
Fear Thy Neighbor. That's one of the shows on the Discovery Channel.
Really?
Yeah.
Fear the neighbor?
Fear Thy Neighbor. It's the neighbors. They get into they've got issues. The neighbors.
Like the Hatfields and McCoy.
Well, yeah, and somebody gets shot. Just spoiler alert.
I'm only
And,
fearful.
But it's Fear Thy Neighbor. It's horrible.
Yeah,
stories.
that's not good.
That's
for
not
Christmas.
Christmas.
Fearful
no,
of my
no.
neighbor having a
I'm
snake and
for
it
the
getting
baking
loose.
contest, falling in love, and walking through the Christmas village of this quaint little town.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it doesn't.
Oh,
get
well,
any better
listen,
than
why
that.
don't we all go skip into a pop-up bar together? I would
I'm
love to
into
go
that.
with
Yeah,
you
let's
guys.
go.
Let's pick a night
Okay, we'll pick a bar.
and we'll all
We'll
go to the
that,
bar.
Give us your pop-up bar
Winterfest
suggestions.
thing that we were just talking about. The Winterfest.
The Winterfest.
Get us an igloo.
We
out
could
there.
get an
We
igloo.
could have an igloo.
Let's get an igloo.
Oh, that
I'm in.
sounds
Do you
like
think Amy
fun.
would agree?
I don't care.
Well, I mean, we want to have all four of us there, don't we?
Well,
Yeah, we need Amy.
I was going to bring my wife.
Amy's got to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna bring
Oh,
your
yeah,
wife?
you bring Georgianne.
Okay.
But you only fit 4 in an igloo.
That's all right. I'll stand outside.
Is it igloo or igloo? I think it's igloo.
I don't know, but they said there's going to be heat inside the igloo.
Heated igloo.
Which kind of is contradictory.
Yeah.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly.
Here we are.
Yeah. Lucas Kuntz and Josh Hawley debated last
There they
night.
were.
Yes,
You
they
guys were
were.
on Fox 2. I saw you.
Yeah.
I saw your faces and your suits. You
Yeah.
look great. We'll discuss that. We will discuss some other news that has happened over the last 72 hours or so. A lot going on as we get close to the election, which is on Tuesday. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
This is a rare opportunity from Lombardo Homes. For a limited time, we're offering an exclusive incentive. Get a free finished lower level rec room or up to $25,000 toward free design studio options when you build with us. Lombardo Homes never runs incentives like this, so the time to buy is now. Whether you're dreaming of a lower level rec room, customized kitchen, or upgraded primary bathroom, you'll never get a better deal than today. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Restrictions apply. Visit LombardoHomes.com or see your sales manager for details. Lombardo Homes, your vision, our mission.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed. Limited time. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan with a quick reminder. Schedule that annual eye exam. Routine eye exams not only diagnose vision changes, but can detect systemic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, thyroid disease, to name just a few. Do what I do. Call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000. The doctors there, Greg Birdie, Ranj Malhotra, Samuel Berry, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, will provide you with the area's most comprehensive eye exam. These doctors can also help with dry eye disease, the result of staring at screens, flying in airplanes, or living in a dry environment. Dry eye sounds harmless, but it can cause inflammation, blurred vision, and damage to the eye's surface that's sometimes difficult to reverse. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates are expert in diagnosis and treatment of dry eye disease. 314-966-5000, yourEyeDoc.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-837-5050. That's 800-837-5050. 800-837-5050.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping. I couldn't find anything.
Have you tried shopping jewelry television, JTV?
I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different.
JTV has thousands of jewelry styles, artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax?
Yes. Another round?
Yes.
KMOX, your go-to for family-friendly discussions of topics that matter to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
This bill would have allowed 5,000 illegal immigrants to cross the border every single day. this bill would have forced taxpayer funding for lawyers for illegals. There's no way I'm going to vote for that. That would have made the crisis so much worse. What we need to do is close the border. What we need to do is reinstate the Remain in Mexico program. What we need to do is allow ICE to deport illegal immigrants who are criminals in this country.
Senator Josh Hawley on Fox 2 last night, part of the Senate debate between he and Lucas Kunce with the general election coming up on Tuesday. Early voting has been underway for about a week and a half, a little bit over that, and it will continue through Monday. And then, of course, we have the election on Tuesday. That was Josh Hawley last night. Here is his opponent, Lucas Kunce, on that same issue of the border.
I went down to the southern border in Arizona. I trained with the Border Patrol there. I was certified by the Border Patrol Tactical Unit. Like, I know what's going on there. I have seen it. I haven't just done a field trip like this guy. And I can tell you right now, there's some very simple things that we have to do immediately. We have to stop the flow of fentanyl. We have to end this disastrous catch and release program that we have in place. And we need to fully fund and equip Border Patrol. Josh Hawley has voted against every single one of those things over and over and over again.
So that is Lucas Kunce. You heard from Josh Hawley as well. Guys, you were both on Fox 2 last night around the debate. What are your thoughts on what happened?
Number one, I thought it was an excellent debate. I think it was well put on. I thought that both of the candidates actually talked about substance. Of course, there was the personal jabbing that we've expect in today's politics, but there was real substance there in conversation. The other takeaway I had is, we've talked about it a lot here, Chris. They look alike, they sound alike, they talk alike, they dress
really
alike.
do. Yeah.
And a lot of their policies are alike. And so they seem to be appealing to the same voters in many instances. So I think both of them had a fine night. I don't think we saw the trajectory of this race changed. My personal opinion, it really comes down to personalities, and I thought that Lucas Kunce seemed a bit more folksy, and that Josh Hawley seemed a bit more of a almost professorial, a little snobbish. That was my takeaway, but I think they both did fine, and I don't think the trajectory of this race has changed.
I was struck by how many policy alignments they had. The first question, and they got into the first question about Kunce shooting somebody, and then Kunce going back at Hawley for January 6th. The question was about government regulating the interest rates that credit card companies could charge, and they both had the same position on it. They both had the same position, although they said their opponent didn't really believe that, but they did. They had the same position on Social Security, and they're both populists. Where they clashed was on Ukraine. They had a difference of opinion. They clashed on climate change. I thought Hawley did a good job of stating the fact that Kunce had come out in favor of eliminating fossil fuels from our economy and going completely dependent on electric vehicles. Kunce never was responsive there. Kunce, I think, had a good exchange with Hawley on the abortion issue, where they definitely differ. But that's going to be a preference of the voter. If the voter is pro-life, they like what Josh Hawley had to say. If they're pro-choice, they like what Lucas Kunce had to say. But they were fairly aligned on a lot of the policy issues, and I found that interesting.
So it is, I think if you really break it down with a lot of politicians, you'd probably find there is more agreement than not. And I'm talking about politicians who operate in good faith, as opposed to those who just try to, fling crap.
Yeah.
Like literal, you know what I mean? Like there is a difference between those two things. And I think there are a lot of people who probably are kind of on the same side or find a lot of common ground if they would at least acknowledge there's common ground. But there's this thing in politics, which I think is kind of ugly. And it's existed lately. And I don't think it was there 20 years ago. Of this, I can't agree with my opponent. I can't even give the appearance of being on the same page as my opponent, because that's the enemy. I can't do that.
Yeah, and you're considered weak. I mean, it's the demonization of the word compromise, and it's one of the reasons that we're not seeing any major legislation passed in Washington, D.C., a Congress that can't agree on what day it is. I don't think either of those two are going to solve this problem. I think they both have their populist agenda. We've seen Josh Hawley, that he's not a guy that's necessarily working for compromise. It's not a guy who's pulling people across the aisle. And if Lucas Kunce was fortunate enough to win this race based on the campaign he ran, I can't see him going up and finding a way to compromise.
Well, I mean, in fairness to Hawley, he's done some deals with Bernie Sanders in the Senate where they come together over going after the big tech companies and the Facebook. Both of these guys last night, very in concert when it comes to the evils of big corporations, for example. A lot of commonality.
Is there and I know, Michael, you said that it doesn't really change the race much. It's happening just a few days prior to the election. The Republican in this state is going to have the advantage.
Yep.
How many people would you guess? I don't even know if you can guess this in some of your polling and the data that you have, but how many people vote just because it is that party? There's an R in front of the name or a D in front of the name.
Better question.
Is there a way to know that?
Well, it's changing now because the parties are changing. So, but in the old days, 3/4 of your voters are that way.
Yeah, and I guess that's the case. I don't know where you want to go with this. What's the question?
No, I'm wondering how many people make that decision just because of the party instead of listening to the candidate.
I did this year. I went and voted only Democrat, and that's not necessarily something I would normally do. I would normally, particularly with local candidates and stuff, but I feel like the Republican Party's so lost its mind. So there's probably 20-30% of us out here that is a base on both sides that do that. So I would suspect that would be the case. I can't really tell in polling. What I see is we measure enthusiasm and what they identify as. And what I'm watching here in suburbs is we're watching people who identify as Republicans shrink. There's just, you look at suburban St. Louis County, there's less and less Republicans. Now they're calling themselves independent, which leads me to believe they're likely the type of person who's maybe going to vote for a left of center candidate for president but really wants to keep their conservative state rep.
So I found it fascinating that there was some polling done yesterday or the day before talking about some of the swing states, and Georgia and North Carolina, the number was 5%. In Michigan, it was 7% of people who at this point still, they call themselves movable, meaning their vote can be swayed. Does it interest you, or is there something fascinating about that? Because there is to me.
Well,
that a person a week from the election still isn't quite sure what they want to do.
I can tell you from how running a campaign standpoint, we would, I view those people as attention seekers. I mean, particularly in this election, how could you not have already made up your mind? I'm not sure they're even going to participate.
Well, that's it.
And from a campaign standpoint, we're ignoring them. We're not persuading anybody here in this last week. We are all about getting our base out, and more importantly, executing some of the elements that comprise a positive field campaign, which is taking that enthused voter out there who really just wants to go out and do it and try to get them to get 2 or 3 other people to go. That's what we're focused on.
Yeah, at this stage, if you're undecided, you're probably not going to vote.
That's John Hancock, Michael Kelly with us. We're going to continue this conversation. I want to talk more about the election, which is coming up. Again, it's on Tuesday. Early voting continues here in the state of Missouri. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores is out. It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
St. Louis is a baseball town. Others may talk Cardinals. We cover the team. Starting Monday, we take Cardinals coverage to an entirely new level. Every day at noon, we bring you real insiders. Tom Ackerman, Kevin Wheeler, Matt Pauling, and Bernie Nicholas break down the Cardinals with analysis and access no other station can match. The Gas House Gang on the KMOX YouTube channel, at KMOX Sports on X, daily at noon. Miss us? Catch the replay on KMOX at 8. KMOX, your home for Cardinals baseball.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
At 10:30, we have sunshine and 51 degrees downtown at the Arch. North Korea has released video showing the release of its intercontinental missile that it launched yesterday. Israel making airstrikes over Beirut's southern suburbs, and mask mandates are returning to some medical facilities in California. A check of traffic at this hour. No real problems. Westbound 44 drivers, you're starting to slow down, it looks like. A little bit at Highway W, and that's due to ongoing construction. And you do have road work that moves around throughout the afternoon on all the highways, so be careful of that. And our weather today, sunshine, highs of 63 degrees, overnight clear and 43, and for tomorrow, partly sunny with highs of 66. Right now, it is 50 degrees in St. Peters, 51 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 51. I'm Maria Kina, in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Do not trust your BMW to some quickie lube place. Bring it to our award-winning service department. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Hi, it's Stacy from Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living, telling you about one of the best offers we've had in the nearly 21 years I've been at Fairwinds. One-bedroom apartments start at $39.95. For all units, we've greatly reduced the residency fee. We are offering a move package of up to $3,500. And moving in, you will not have an increase in 2025. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
If you're thinking of getting new hardwood, carpet, laminate, or vinyl flooring at one of those big box or discount stores, put it on hold. As in Reinhold. Reinhold Flooring, covering St. Louis and beyond since 1988. Residential or builder, you'll find everything you need in our showroom on Telegraph. When it comes to investing in your home, you want the best in carpet, laminate, vinyl flooring, or area rugs. Put those others on hold with Reinhold Flooring. Stop by Telegraph Road or learn more at reinholdflooring.com.
Are you tired of those unwanted, stubborn areas of fat? Do you want to lose up to 2 inches of that fat quickly and safely? Hi, this is Dr. Michael Glickert at St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and we offer the latest breakthrough treatment in fat reduction without surgery through our incredible Lumara body contouring program that gently melts fat naturally, eliminating it from your body. If you want to lose inches on your thighs, arms, waist, stomach, or back, take advantage of our limited time offer of just $69 for your first treatment, which is valued at $300. You heard that right, just $69 for your first treatment. Visit us online at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I admit I was skeptical about body contouring at St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, but I figured, what do I have to lose except apparently inches, because they already helped me lose 40 pounds, and then they took before and after pictures while I was doing body contouring. I did 8 treatments, and you could totally see the difference. So take advantage of this limited time offer, just $69 for your first body contouring treatment, regularly $300, by calling 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Podcast The Bernie Miklasz Show today on the free Odyssey app and follow to receive Bernie's daily take on Cardinals, Blues, or whatever else is in the news. AUDACY.
I got Hancock and Kelly with me on a Friday morning. We do this every Friday starting at 10 o'clock. And these jerks decided to bring the Bears up right before we started the segment. And now I'm fired up.
It was a really good game until the very end there.
I know, Michael.
What was that defensive back doing?
Tyreek Stevenson was talking to the crowd 4 seconds into the play. The ball snapped and he's talking to
But he got there in time to tip the ball to the
he sure
Washington
did,
receiver.
John.
Yeah,
John, that's what happened, isn't it?
That's exactly what happened.
I got this schmuck texting me like, "Oh, sorry about that."
How do
loss,
you
buddy."
leave? How do you leave
I don't
that
know,
guy
John.
just standing by himself in the end zone?
I don't know.
I mean, don't you got to?
Who do the Bears have this weekend?
They've got the Cardinals on the road. Arizona's playing better too.
Yeah.
By the way, we have our no prize pick'em challenge today. Chip Carey is going to be.
Is that right?
He's going to be our celebrity picker.
Nice.
And Drew is coming back. Listener Drew is
Listener
defending
Drew?
his title.
Wow.
Yeah, he won last
You've
week.
had more than a few listeners have prevailed so far this year.
That's right.
So I bumped into Chip in public someplace, and I was shocked. He's tall.
He's very tall.
He's taller than us. I mean, he's got to be 6'5", 6'6". He's
Yeah.
a big dude.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did.
I didn't know that because he's always sitting down or he's on TV.
Yeah.
I had no idea he's that tall. Rarely do we run into people you got to look up at. You're looking up at this guy.
Yeah.
So this bit of audio, guys, that I'm going to play for you has been making the rounds since, later last night. Former President Trump, who was on the campaign trail, obviously, he is in an interview with Tucker Carlson and talking on stage in front of a group of people. And they were talking about, war, essentially is what they were talking about. But then he said this.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy. But she's a stupid person.
Okay, so it has been, as you can imagine, if you are on the Democratic side, that bit of audio has been circulated. They have run with it. They have said that he is suggesting that she be put in front of a firing squad. The other side is saying that's not what he's saying in the moment. What he's saying is she's willing to send people to war. How would she like it if she were the one who were facing the other weapons being pointed at her? That's what campaigns do. They will, twist it the way they want to twist it. But is the comment itself problematic? Because I listened to it a bunch of times, and I think he is saying, I don't think he's saying she should be put in front of a firing squad.
Right.
The reason people are running with it, however, is because he said she should be put up in front of a military tribunal on TV. So that might be, for a lot of people, the next logical step.
Right.
I don't think that it is, but I don't know if that's what he suggested or not. I do think that what he was probably saying is, hey, if you're willing to go to war or send people to war, how would you like it if you were the one being shot at?
So,
but is it a bad idea to talk like that?
I think, well, of course it's a bad idea to talk like that. But I think the president's vocabulary is somewhat limited. I mean, we all know he's a master marketer, but this isn't a guy who has got an expansive vocabulary. And mostly what he does in nearly every speech since he came down the gold elevator is repeat the same things and stuff. And while I agree with you, it may not have been specific, like let's put a firing line in front of her. There was intention behind what he said. There's intention, and because it's a part of his rhetoric. And so I think it's problematic. I take extra umbrage to it because I'm watching my friends on Facebook who are supporters of Trump, who were dressed up in trash bags last night with their Make America Great hat, saying I've been called trash. I mean, hello, there's no same comparison going on here. I think people are getting fired up because we're so close to the election, but I don't believe that the major points that Donald Trump makes are unintentional. I think it's the exact opposite.
He is not the king of nuance, is he?
No.
Yeah, and
he's
so you get very direct. Now, I do think he says things. Well, just the other night he had that rally where he was talking about how he wants to protect women And then he says whether they like it or not. After saying, my people tell me not to talk like this, but I'm going to do. Well, he's being told to, let's not create unforced errors. Let's not drop a can of corn in center field in the 5th inning and open the floodgates. And but nuance is not something that is woven into the fabric of Donald Trump. But you're right, Ron. She was making the point he was making, and he could have made it more articulately by saying she wants to send your sons and daughters out into war. How would she feel if she had to face the enemy on the front line? That's what he should have said. Then you've got no controversy.
And politicians have said that for years.
Of course.
It's not your son or daughter going
Right.
out there. So, yeah, it's easy for you to make the call, which
Sure.
I think that's a valid argument.
Yes, and that is essentially the argument he was trying to make. He just didn't make it effective.
Well, and it's Donald Trump, and all the other rhetoric just
Right.
doesn't get to be, dispensed of.
And that's the other thing, is that if a Democrat had said exactly that, they'd be running with it.
Sure. Well,
the
look
other
what they
side
did.
would run
They
with
rented a trash can truck and painted it over Joe Biden's slip of the tongue.
So that's the other thing. I don't know if and it's totally possible that Joe Biden believes all Trump supporters are garbage. It might be that he thinks some of them are. He has spoken like that in the past. He said there are just some Trump supporters who are, and I forgot the words he used, but he's saying not all Republicans, but there are some people who are, crazy or whatever. I wonder if, and here's how I feel about it. I feel like we need to get to a point where we don't have somebody who can't articulate the thing they want to say clearly to leave no doubt. You know what I mean? I mean, do we want to continue to have people in office who say things and then have to constantly be clarified by somebody else later? No, that's not what he meant. That's not what Joe Biden meant. That's not what Donald Trump meant. What he meant was this. Isn't it better for us if we have somebody who is the president who can articulate what they want to say and say it clearly so that it can't be interpreted another way?
I'm for bringing Barack Obama back. I think he was probably the most effective communicator when it came to that.
Well, and then Ronald Reagan was called, of course, the great communicator. And he, that is an important skill set for a president to have.
It's not the only thing, but it is something.
But it's important to be able to articulate effectively what you believe. That's how you lead. It's part of being a leader of a nation. It's also a very important diplomatic skill when you're dealing with foreign ministers and leaders of foreign countries. And I'm not particularly impressed with Trump or Kamala Harris when it comes to being able to articulate clearly a vision for the country.
I think one of them is better than the other, but neither one is great at it. We haven't had somebody great at it for a while. It's been 10 years almost,
right?
Since that has happened. Text message here from a 314 says, but what war is Liz Cheney trying to send troops into? If we're talking about Ukraine, it's the opposite.
Right.
The more we support Ukraine, the less chance we have to put our people on the ground.
I couldn't agree with that anymore.
I know that's been an argument that people have been trying to get across to the opponents of aiding Ukraine, is that we are getting a pretty good deal here. We're doing this at a fraction of the cost of what it would be if we actually got dragged into a real war where we're sending troops.
And the quote money we're sending over there is actually
Old
procuring
equipment.
U.S. equipment
Yes.
from U.S. businesses.
Yes.
So, but this is a great example of where populism has really risen in this country, because it's very easy and simple, and people get it, to say, why are we spending all this money over there when, man, we can't even secure our own border and we can't even feed our population? That's a populist argument that resonates with an awful lot of people. Talking about the importance of American deterrence in the world, the importance of standing up for sovereign countries who are invaded by dictators, articulating that so that people understand it and believe it, is something we're not getting a lot of in the political dialogue today. And I think it's regrettable.
Guys, with the election coming up here on Tuesday, we've already started to see some signs of things happening at polling places, or for example, you've got the former president who the other day said, and they're already cheating in Pennsylvania, that things are happening in Pennsylvania and law enforcement needs to step in and stop it. He put that on Truth Social the other day, and I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was saying. How much concern do you guys have about what happens, not just in the next few days, but what happens on election day and the days after, before a victor is declared?
I may have evolved a little bit on this. I, for a long time, thought that this could go on for weeks, and I may be wrong. It may still go on for weeks like we did last time, but I think we're going to have a pretty healthy idea that evening who the president is. I think we're going to get some decisive responses. That's my kind of what I see coming out of this.
Well, are you concerned about
the president,
some counties not certifying?
The former president is obviously nervous already because he's starting to use rhetoric that kind of had been on the shelf for the past 2 weeks, which is they're cheating, they're stealing. This is what happens when Donald Trump knows he's going to lose. But I mean, we haven't seen that much disruption at the polls, and there's early voting in almost all of these states. I think we're going to have incidences like we saw down in Florida, a guy waving a machete, or folks that are trying to intimidate people, which unfortunately is just a part of American life. But I don't see some grand real issues on election day.
So we've already got a situation in the country where tens of millions of people believe the 2020 election was stolen. That's not healthy for democracy. The 2020 election was not stolen. There's no evidence of any kind of widespread or coordinated voter fraud. It just isn't. And there were over 60 cases adjudicated that couldn't produce any evidence or examples. So yet tens of millions of people are absolutely convinced that that election was stolen, and they will be if Donald Trump loses. And perhaps even if Harris loses, there will be tens of millions of people that don't trust the results of the election. And that fundamentally is the single most destabilizing thing you can do in a democracy. And I believe our foreign adversaries help foment that belief. I believe they are feeding us
Russia is absolutely
on our social media platforms and other places. And if you want to cripple the ability of a country to believe its government is legitimate, this is how you do it. And so I'm very concerned about that. And I think that ship has already sailed insofar as it relates to tens of millions of Americans who believe our election system is fundamentally rigged.
We talked to Major Garrett yesterday, who is of the belief that we will know by Thursday morning, because the question I asked of him is, or I said something like, hopefully we'll know next time we talk to you, Major, because we talked to him on Thursday mornings. And he said, oh, we'll know. He said, and his explanation is states are more prepared. There aren't as many people who are absentee voting because there's no pandemic. So there's been preparation underway for this, that we should have a better idea. It won't be a Saturday kind of thing.
Right.
What I'm wondering is, will somebody like Speaker Johnson, will he, since he is in control there, will there be, if Donald Trump loses, will he try anything funny? Or do you think he will just go along with whatever the result is?
I don't know, but what I do think is, January the 6th or whatever day they certify the election will be after the new Congress is seated. So if the Democrats take the House, I expect they will. I think the Republicans are going to win the Senate.
Yeah,
but
that's what it looks like.
But I expect the Democrats will have the Speaker of the House in position at that time. And I certainly hope that we don't have that kind of a melodrama.
But what makes you think it's going to be different, John? And I think that's part of the argument that we Democrats make about Donald Trump, is everybody says, oh, it was so much better. What makes you think it's going to be any different? I mean, this man shows us time and time who he is. He says what he's going to do. He's already saying this election is going to be stolen. I mean, he is going to declare himself the victor on election night. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do it when the polls close on the East Coast.
Well, I don't think. Well, who knows? But you're probably right about that.
Yeah,
and that's not. And my point is, it's not good for the country.
No.
Period.
How are we going to get these people back? these people who are never going to accept that there was a loss on either side. Because let me tell you, if Harris goes down, you don't think after the 4 years of nonsense we've watched the Republicans, bend over backwards to try to do something illegal, that they're not going to be showing up in Washington, D.C. to express their point of view as well? And I think you're going to see a pushback from Democrats who are going to show up if they feel it's
I would be very disappointed if Harris loses and we had anything close to.
Oh, we won't have anything close.
Yeah, I'd be very disappointed.
But I think you're going to see
it at all.
major protests. I think you're going to see
protests.
folks
you will.
upset. But I mean, take it to the bank. He's going to declare himself the victor on election night,
Regardless.
even if he's getting slaughtered. He's going to declare himself the winner.
Guys, you got some snooker to play, or
We
what?
do.
Can't wait till this is over with this election, brother.
What about the snooker? Can you?
I'm looking forward to my time with John Hancock today. That'll be lovely.
Hey, next time I see what you're doing for football, don't ever ignore me again.
Ranji, who I've been
He
begging to
ignored
do
me.
something for 2 years, it hits me up
I'm not
30
getting
minutes
in the middle
before a
of this.
football game the
John,
other day.
you know what he ignored me.
I'm not a marriage counselor.
I was
here.
playing snooker with John
my
Hancock
daughter-
at the
my
time.
daughter's a marriage counselor. Maybe the two of you can go see her and pay money for it.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly, you're the best.
See you guys.
See ya.
Did you see this next on KMOX?
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 23rd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are ignoring kitchen table issues. Liberals are fighting to defund the police, indoctrinate kids, open the border, and put boys in girls' sports. I'm Ann Wagner. The people I talk to know better. Let's work for what matters most. Lower costs, parents' rights, and safer streets.
Ann Wagner is working for common sense solutions to the problems you face. She's challenged the big government machine in Washington and delivered a tax cut for middle-class families. Ann has stood with parents to defend their right to make decisions on the upbringing, education, and care of their children, protecting our kids from radical leftist indoctrination. And as crime rises, Ann has worked to protect our safety by fighting efforts to defund our brave police.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message. So pull up a chair, and together we'll turn the tables on Washington.
Fighting for your family. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. The director of Siteman Cancer Center, Dr. Tim Eberlein.
When they have a comprehensive cancer center, and of course, Siteman is the only comprehensive cancer center and only NCI designated center in the entire state of Missouri, and in fact, in this region.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle. Active Liver is available in stores at CVS or online at Amazon.
I'm Kevin Wheeler. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Hey, did you see that Bernie Miklasz is sitting right in front of me? He's here. He's going to be with us for the 11 to 1 o'clock part of the show. So we will be talking to Bernie here in just a moment, or he can jump in whenever he wants. You're here. You might as well just, you're here, man.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yesterday, I should say yesterday when I was on with you and Amy, I almost like at the end, it was kind of awkward because I knew I was coming in today. And I was like, well, should I remind them I'll see him tomorrow? Or,
I think you know what? I forgot in the moment. And then as soon as you were done, I was looking at my email. I'm like, oh gosh, Bernie's on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna do it up. And it's a good thing we have you in because we have some Cardinal stuff to get into. They have already made a couple of decisions.
Yeah.
We briefly talked about it yesterday. So the off season is happening. It is now officially. It's been the Cardinals off season for a while, but when Major League Baseball is done, this is when things really start to happen. So it's a good thing to have you in to talk about it today.
Yeah, it happens quickly. It's going to be a different kind of off season for sure. I mean, I'm fine with it because what they're doing is long overdue, but it's going to be a really dramatically different kind of all season for Cardinals and their fans.
That's true. And I can't wait to get into that with you because when's the last time we've experienced something like this here? I can't recall it because every year we have gone into a Cardinal season, it has been, we're competing. We're going to compete. And they probably think that they might still be able to kind of compete in the Central, but it's the way they approach this offseason will not be like the way they usually do it.
And I don't want to act like I'm completely writing off 2025. I just have much lower expectations. They can still have a respectable season. But to me, it'll be really interesting going into 2026 because by then we're going to have learned a lot more about all of these young hitters, all of these young pitchers who are going to get a shot this year.
Yeah.
And if enough of those people come through and they're like, wow, okay, they're back on track or they've elevated their game, then all of a sudden you're in play competitively in 2026, and so, but we're just going to have to wait through this season, see what happens.
I got Bernie with me today for the next couple of hours. In the next hour, we will, as soon as we come back, actually, we're going to visit with Scott Jagow, who visited a pretty cool place here in St. Louis, an event venue that he wants to tell us about and some other stuff as well. Danon Hughes, who is the Kansas City Chiefs on the radio side, he is the analyst for them. They've got a game coming up. Mike Claiborne will be with us next hour, Cardinals broadcaster. So a lot of baseball coming up. Bernie is with me until 1 o'clock. And Chip Carey is part of our No Prize Pick'em Challenge, which happens at 12:30. That's all coming up on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon with all the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, don't do that. Just the best doctors to see for your best vision in St. Louis. You can reach them at 314-966-5000. Now, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Berry are experts in the field of diagnosing and treating diseases of the eyes, from dry eye to allergies to cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, LASIK surgery. They handle it all. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons as well. So if you're having a problem, give them a call, 314-966-5000. You can also find them at youridoc.com. And of course, they're located at 12990 Manchester Road, just a half mile west of I-70 on Manchester. Really easy to get to from anywhere. And all you need to do to find out more is call 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office.
But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey guys, Glover here for Zero Res. So the good times keep on rolling during the fall. My favorite time of year, probably a lot of you out there share those feelings. Thanksgiving coming right up, having people over to the house, want to make sure that everything is clean and as fresh and beautiful as possible, followed up by Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's. So if it's time to entertain, time to welcome the family back home, it's time for Zero Res. You'll do 3 rooms of carpeting, pre-treated and Zero Res clean, starting at $129. That's a $40 savings and $75 off your air duct cleaning. Remember, we can do any flooring surface. We can do tile. We can do area rugs. Our bread and butter, of course, are the wall-to-wall carpeting, but we can do any kind of flooring and upholstery. 314-474-2020, or you can book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Either way, just let them know you're from KMOX or the DGS, ZeroResSTL.com. Spell it backwards, spell it forwards, always spells the same, Zero Res.
At 11 o'clock, we have sunshine, 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Maria Akina, in for Michael Calhoun, our top story this hour. North Korea has released footage claiming to show its test launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile with the range to strike the mainland United States. This comes as North Korea's foreign minister has said her country will back Russia until it achieves victory in its war in Ukraine. CBS News Pentagon reporter Ellie Watson is following the latest.
This launch appears to have had the longest flight time ever recorded for a North Korean missile, 13 minutes longer than the previous record, and has the range theoretically capable of reaching the United States. The test wasn't really a surprise, though. In fact, the South Korean defense minister was here on Wednesday at the Pentagon warning that North Korea may do something like this to exaggerate its existence around the time of the U.S. presidential election.
Israeli jets have carried out strikes over Beirut's southern suburbs for the first time in days. These strikes come a day after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told U.S. officials his country's ability to counter security threats and the return of displaced people were key for any ceasefire along Israel's northern border. CBS correspondent Holly Williams.
Israel is continuing to pummel both the Gaza Strip and Lebanon. Overnight, 47 people were killed by Israeli strikes in central Gaza, according to Palestinian media. Today, Israel bombarded the southern suburbs of Lebanon's capital, Beirut. And Israel is also carrying out strikes in the Baalbek region of Lebanon, which is home to UNESCO-listed Roman ruins.
Mask mandates are returning to some medical facilities in California. KCBS radio reporter Matt Bigler says the health orders come as the annual cold and COVID season ramps up.
To prevent the spread of respiratory diseases, some California counties are now requiring masks be worn by staff in hospitals and other healthcare settings.
Taking these preventative measures now in these facilities will save lives.
San Mateo County Supervisor David Canepa. Meanwhile, getting updated COVID boosters will also save lives, says UCSF infectious disease specialist Dr. Peter Chen Hong.
We still have more than 50,000 deaths to COVID, even though we are in the recovery phase.
The mask mandates will be in place until early next spring. Matt Bigler for CBS News, Oakland.
Poll watchers will continue to be barred from observing the early voting process in St. Charles County after a lawsuit was dismissed this morning.
The man who brought the lawsuit, Travis Hines, said afterwards he was disappointed the case was not heard on the merits.
You've got, 5,000-10,000 people voting every single day there, and we're not applying the same transparency, the same security to those votes and those voters.
Now, speaking on behalf of St. Charles County Councilor Rory O'Sullivan, Communications Director for the county, Kevin Killeen, pointed out that even Hines admitted they don't have any evidence of anything improper.
We also respect the plaintiff's sincere interest in election integrity, but I do note that they said they don't see any evidence of irregularities.
Pressed on whether or not he would refile this case, Hines would not say one way or another, only that he's taking it under consideration. Outside the St. Charles County Courthouse, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
From the KMOX Business Desk, new data from the Labor Department shows the unemployment rate remained steady at 4.1%. Now, this data did not meet expectations. Analysts are predicting the U.S. to add around 117 jobs. That's 117,000 jobs. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady has more on the presidential candidates, how they can rally their bases on this report.
I think you have to caveat it and say, look, I get it. You're not necessarily feeling it at home, but we do need to wait for those wages to keep up with inflation. I mean, the Trump campaign, they did come out and say, look, we've lost all of these jobs. Both sides, which sometimes they rarely do, they need to add context.
A check of the Dow at this hour from Stifel. It is up 477 points to 42,240. A check of traffic at this hour. Looks like the only problem we have out there right now is for westbound 44 drivers past Hampton. Watch out for a stall. That is on the right shoulder, not really causing any delays for drivers. Just be aware that it's there. And then southbound 55, it looks past Potomac. The left lane is closed, and that's due to debris. MoDOT is responding there. A check of our forecast with Dave Murray.
Tons of sunshine on this Friday afternoon, the 1st of November, 62 for the high. That's touch below average. Tonight, clear skies. Evening temperatures will drop quickly into the 50s. 43 for the chilly overnight low. Saturday, delightful, partly sunny, 66. Clouds take over Saturday night. Set our clocks back 1 hour Saturday night. Then on Sunday, periods of rain and thunderstorms, 72. It's a wet pattern that will take us through Monday and take us through Tuesday. Could easily see 1 to 3 inches of rain. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It is 53 in St. Peters, 54 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, we're at 54. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis University Billikens Basketball. Choose your seats for 5 or more games and receive savings off the single game ticket price with a 5-game mini pack starting at $75. Purchase now at slubillikens.com.
Hour 2 of the Chris and Amy Show. I'm Chris Ranji. Amy Marks Kors is out today, but she will be back on Monday as we get close to the election. It'll be the day before the election happens here. I got Bernie Miklas sitting in with me until 1 o'clock today. We always talk to Scott Jagow about this time, right about 11 o'clock here on Fridays. Scott Jagow from the KMOX newsroom has 3 Good Things, Roaming St. Louis, Chat with Stu Mac. All that is coming up, and you went to a pretty cool event space.
I did. It's called Work and Leisure, and it's in the Midtown area. It's a huge, I think it's 6,000 square feet. During the day, it can be used with companies, nonprofits to do meetings and like events. They've done adult spelling bees and other things to raise funds for charities. Then at night, it can become like a pop-up space. So, for example, next month, they turn it into what's called Avalanche, and it's a faux ski lodge. And people come in and they wear ski gear. And the whole idea is that they're in a ski lodge. It's winter. They're all cozy, but an avalanche could be coming at any moment. So
what?
Be careful. That's just the plot. But really, it's just an excuse to go hang out, have fun, and drink.
Hold on a second.
It's kind of like isn't that like an amusement park ride, right?
Yeah,
you know something's going to happen. Your stomach's going to flip, but you
don't know when.
Want that. You want it to happen.
So an avalanche of what? Is it a fake snow?
I mean,
or is it like
spoil anything? I mean, nobody's going to get injured. It's just for fun.
Oh well, what fun is that? There's got to be real danger involved.
Yeah, no, it's the Midtown area is really developing. Lots of new stuff. It's near that. It's in the same block as that whiskey bar. It's like on Locust. So there's also some breweries going on there. You know, we've got Urban Chestnut's already been there. Well Spent, and then there's a new one called Blue Jay that's just opened up within the last year or so, and then other restaurants and things. So the Midtown area is really starting to evolve. A lot of those places I learned used to be automobile dealerships many years ago, back in the early days of cars.
There's still some car stuff. Is there a museum or
Moto
something?
Museum.
That's what it is. Okay.
That was one of my previous roaming St. Louis segments.
Yeah.
That's a cool place, the Moto Museum, but it's in the same area.
Yeah, so Midtown has really, as you said, it's starting to build up quite a bit. The coffee shop that used to be downstairs, Catalyst, that was downstairs here in this Park Pacific building, is now in Midtown. It's like there's just things popping up all over there.
Yeah, it's a good neighborhood. Really cool spot.
You get around the whole region, but if you're talking about growth and things like this, that one neighborhood, one area is like really a lot of positive stuff going on. What are some of the areas that have really caught your attention? Like, wow, this is really changing and it's great.
Midtown definitely qualifies for that. And that whole complex there with the theater district, Grand Arts Center, that's part of it. The Kranzberg Arts Foundation is big there in terms of developing artistic sort of things. I mean, Bevo is kind of changing into something else that it used to be. I'm trying to think of another neighborhood that is really evolving, but those are the two that kind of stand out right now in my mind.
You know, it's interesting. Midtown, when I first moved back to St. Louis was 2017, and just driving around that street, driving down Locust or Washington, there's just a lot of really cool old buildings that you look at and go, this should be something. Like there should be things here. There should be storefronts, restaurants, bars, that sort of thing.
That's exactly what Work and Leisure is. It is one of those buildings. It's over 100 years old, and they have turned it into this event space. You know, it's with a lot of creativity using the space. Inside, they have a bocce ball court. They have shuffleboard tables, foosball, and then, of course, they have a couple of bars. And it's a really pleasant space to be in.
So, is it just an event space, or is it open all the time?
Well, as I said, during the day, people can use it for meetings and things like that. So you can book time there.
Scott, have you noticed that things have evolved in this context? St. Louis has a lot of great standalone restaurants, right? We're very fortunate, but even some of the great restaurants find it harder and harder and harder to meet the financial challenges. And I'm always stunned when this place closes, that place closes, this place opens. You know, do you find that it's evolved in a way where people are trying a different way? There's more of an emphasis on the thing that you just described, you know, an event space that can sort of morph into anything you want it to morph in, rather than just sort of being limited to like a brick and mortar restaurant, which I'm a fan of. But is there more creativity in the marketplace?
I absolutely believe that there is. In fact, I went to one a few weeks ago that's a coffee shop. It's in the same area, actually. It's a coffee shop, but right next door is an event space owned by the same people. So, yes, I think people are doing restaurants and also using the space that they have, especially in places where you have these big buildings that are sitting there empty, to create event spaces. And it's a good way to have a side business in addition to running a restaurant, because, as you know, running a restaurant is difficult and a lot of them fail, as you just mentioned.
You know, you've got three good things, Scott Jagow, coming up, and we were talking a little bit about it in the office, and you have a friend who is kind of like I am.
Yeah.
When it comes to cold weather.
Yeah. I'm like this too, but my friend, the other day we were having a conversation about winter coming and dark, you know, the time change, and she had this Schadenfreude thing going on about where she's just like, I don't begrudge people enjoying summer, and I'm not trying to flip their noses, but what she was saying, I kind of secretly enjoy the fact that other people hate the fact that it's cold, and I love it. I want some fire pits. I want some cold nights. I want some sweaters.
I'm kind of the same way.
I am too.
Me too. My wife's that way too.
I love chilly weather.
Yeah. I love chili too. But...
Yeah. Well, they go together.
Yeah. That's right.
Yesterday, all of a sudden, I talked to my wife because it was kind of a cold day. It was gray. And I said, I don't know. Some vegetable beef soup today. What do you think? I crave great soup or chili.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's tied into eating more than anything. I don't know. With me, that's a distinct possibility.
And I just love the feeling of cold air hitting your face. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Until it gets to a certain temperature.
Wear a coat. You're fine.
No, I mean, I love cold weather. I'm from Buffalo, New York.
That's right.
Love
You
cold
are.
weather, but
you guys are nuts.
But when it gets like negatives, it's a little too cold. I'm good with like 10s, 20s, 30s.
So you've got 3 good things roaming St. Louis Sunday morning. Your chat with Stu Mac. You will be talking baseball movies.
Yes, because we wanted to keep the baseball season alive. So Stu and I are all about baseball movies. We both decided, without talking to each other, what's your favorite baseball movie? We both said at the same time, The Natural. So that's our opinion. So what's yours, Bernie?
I really like that one. I love that one a lot. But I'm a sucker for some other ones that maybe weren't, critically acclaimed. That baseball film, not Field of Dreams, but the one where Kevin Costner plays an aging pitcher.
Detroit Love of the Game.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I thought it was really good, even if it wasn't. I don't know if the critics loved it or not. It doesn't matter. It's whatever I like, right?
Right.
No, because it's a personal, subjective
liked
thing.
it, yeah.
I thought it was good. And then way back when, Robert De Niro in Bang the Drum Slowly, which was more
Yeah.
about life than baseball, but it was incredible. It was, for its time, it was really strong stuff. Bang the Drum Slowly. Love that one.
That's an underrated film.
Yeah.
You guys should find, and it's very difficult to find. I haven't looked in a while, but the last time I tried it, it's not really readily available. There was an HBO movie called Long Gone with William Peterson. He's in it, and is it Dermot Mulroney or Dylan McDermott? I can't remember. I think it's Dermot Mulroney is in it. I can't think of it. I get them confused, but it was this HBO movie about a really bad minor league team in Florida from, I think, the 40s or 50s. It's just a really great movie.
Quickly, there's a new documentary on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have seen it, called The Turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about this?
I may have. But I don't
It's
know.
the story of Trey Turner
Oh,
going
no.
to Philadelphia, and he had a horrible slump. And there was this one Philly super fan, who got online and got all the fans together to go, let's stop booing him and start cheering him and see what happens.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what the documentary
I
is
remember
about.
that.
Interesting,
I,
yeah.
I remember that event. That Philadelphia way out of character based on
Exactly.
reputation,
Yeah.
and it really did make a difference. It settled him down, and
It's like
he was phenomenal
It
after
is-
that.
It's a huge difference from throwing batteries. Hey, Scott Jagow, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, 6:30 to 9:30 on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
KMOX. When we come back, we will talk Chiefs football with Danon Hughes, Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
This is a rare opportunity from Lombardo Homes. For a limited time, we're offering an exclusive incentive. Get a free finish lower level rec room or up to $25,000 toward free design studio options when you build with us. Lombardo Homes never runs incentives like this, so the time to buy is now. Whether you're dreaming of a lower level rec room, customized kitchen, or upgraded primary bathroom, you'll never get a better deal than today. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Restrictions apply. Visit LombardoHomes.com or see your sales manager for details. Lombardo Homes, your vision, our mission.
The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra kicks off a 2-week celebration of Mozart this November. Experience Mozart's haunting Requiem as music director Stefan Deneuve leads the SLSO through the sorrowful and beautiful piece. Performances also feature Mozart's Dark, Adagio, and Fugue, and bass baritone Deshaun Burton's powerful performance of Brahms's 4 serious songs, November 9th and 10th at Stiefel Theater. Tickets at slso.org.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Attention Missouri Republicans. Donald Trump Jr. has endorsed Amendment 2. Don Jr. calls legalizing sports betting a no-brainer for Missouri. Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 will give Missouri fans the freedom to bet too, and that means our money will stay at home instead of going to other states. legalizing sports betting will generate more than $100 million for Missouri schools without raising property taxes. That's why our Republican candidate for governor, Mike Kehoe, is joining Donald Trump Jr. in supporting Amendment 2, generating more money for Missouri schools without raising property taxes, giving Missouri fans the freedom to bet on games. Donald Trump Jr. has it right. Voting yes on Amendment 2 is a no-brainer for Missouri Republicans. Join Don Jr. in saying yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Discussing what matters to you, your family, your money, your health. KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Goal to go, 3rd down and 5 for the Chiefs. Trailing 10-7, Mahomes races the right leg. Pass caught, Newsom! Touchdown! Kansas City on a quick slant. Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce for the 52nd time. That is 3rd in National Football League history. Quarterback to a tight end.
KMOX is the home of Chiefs football, and you'll be able to hear them Monday night. They will be hosting the Buccaneers. That is coming up, and it is time for our regular segment with Danon Hughes, Kansas City Chiefs radio analyst. Again, you can hear him here, former wide receiver, joining us now on the Quiver River Electric guest line. So you'll have to wait, Danon, about an extra day here. But how do you feel generally about Monday Night Football?
Well, I love Monday Night Football, especially at GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. It's one of the great venues, even for a regular 12 noon game. But Monday night, it is absolutely electric. If anybody on that side of the state or that are listening ever want to have a full experience, including football, I suggest looking up a primetime game at Arrowhead Stadium. There's just nothing like it. I've been around the league. I think there's only, between either playing or being a broadcaster at, I want to say there might be less than a handful of stadiums that I have not been to. And there's nothing like it. And I'm not even biased about that. It's a complete experience. The barbecue, everybody has enough time to get some gasoline in their tank during the day. So It makes for a raucous experience, complete day experience. And hopefully we'll get the win too.
Yeah, Dana, Bernie Miklasz here. I've covered. I was an NFL beat writer for a few different cities for decades, and I always said, people would ask me, "What's the best tailgate?" I said, "Look, man, I'm going to be a wimp because it's a 3-way tie. It's Kansas City, it's Green Bay, and it's Pittsburgh." So yeah, you can. In fact, you talking about it just made my mouth water.
I've done KC. KC.
You want some burn-ins and some ribs right now for lunch?
That's exactly right.
That's what I do.
That's right. That's right.
I will give Kansas City that much. I'm telling you that tailgate, you all out there do it right.
And you know what? As a player, it was tough because we would drive into the stadium, and we'd pull in, and all you'd smell is all the barbecue. They had all the tents. People were out there from like 6 a.m. Nowadays, people stay out here overnight. They have campers and everything overnight. The faithful fans, like, they take it personal to be at the first one at the turnstiles, at the gate for parking when they open up, and they get it all set up. It's a big production. And then after the game, so the cool thing for me is, obviously with being the broadcaster, I can't tailgate before the game, But after the game, when it's bumper to bumper traffic, because we don't blow anybody out, we really see. One other thing you guys didn't realize is that the Chiefs are very, very cognizant of the listeners and the viewers. That's why we keep the game so close, because we want to make sure that everybody gets the full dosage of football that they paid for. So you're welcome to the entire listening group. You know, we don't. Anybody can blow people out. We just want to win and make sure everybody stays engaged. And then I get the tailgate after the game when everybody is bumper to bumper traffic. I just pop my trunk and I have a cigar and I'm chilling. There you go.
Perfect.
That's the best thing to do. You know, the team, Danon, is still undefeated, 7 wins. I'm looking at the schedule, and it kind of feels to me like the next chance, the real chance they'll have to lose, and I guess they could lose to Denver, or they could lose to the Bucs, but it's really that Bills game. It's very conceivable this team is 9-0 before they get to the game against the Bills in Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the goal, is to win every single game. Any given Sunday, anything can happen, but I feel like if you're talking about playing teams that you're better than, I feel like we are better than those teams, but at the same time, we got to play better for those 60 minutes. And that we've seen that around. I mean, who would have thought that the Jets would beat Houston last night? Who would think every single week, like this is one of the weirdest years in survivor pools. I got friends and family that are in survivor pools. And like, this is the weirdest year because most people were out in week 4 and week 5 because there were upsets all around the league. So the Chiefs don't take anybody for granted, but at the same time, the goal is to win every single game. And if they're able to get to 9-0, that would match 2003 and 2013 as far as the best starts for the Chiefs in history. So we're going to take one game at a time. We want to be 8-0 and see what presents itself the following week against a very, very dangerous Broncos team.
Dana, what's got to obviously comfort Chiefs fans, but also scare the heck out of AFC teams and their fans. The Chiefs were vulnerable. There were several chances to beat them while they were down, and all these wide receiver injuries, running back injuries, offensive line unsettled to a bit. They couldn't do it. And now the Chiefs, the last 3 games, have scored 26 or more points. And you start to see it going now with that offense. How close are the Chiefs, even with that banged up receiver core? And I know they got DeAndre Hopkins in. How close are the Chiefs offensively to sort of reaching that level we're all accustomed to seeing from them?
We're just touching the surface, man. That's the cool thing, is that there are a lot of teams, and you guys have heard me say this early in the season. Not only are there a lot of teams that are envious of being 7-0 and would love to be in our circumstance, but there's a lot of teams that we've seen the best football from. Like, we've seen their best version of football early in the season, in the first quarter of the season, and they're hoping to sustain that or tap back into that and make a run. We haven't seen the best version of the Chiefs, and that's encouraging. We've seen the best version maybe of our defense, but our offense, not so much. And when you consider what we had to overcome last year with the record number drops by receivers, this year with the injuries sustained, it's just a very resilient team that expects to win regardless and does whatever it takes to get that done. So I think it could be scary for a lot of teams in the NFL when this offense catches up to the defense. And when we're able to play efficient football and scoring, we're doing a better job. If you consider how we won, the first 4 games, weren't very good in the red zone. These last couple of weeks, we've been much better in the red zone. And if we continue to climb in that trajectory, that once we get inside the 20-yard line, we're putting touchdowns on the board as opposed to Harrison Butker field goals, then you got to watch out for this team, because that would create a lot of extra headaches for opposing teams and coaches.
Danon, still 3 days away from the game itself, so there's plenty of time. But anything that you know beyond what we've already heard about Patrick Mahomes and the ankle?
Oh, nothing. I mean, heck, we saw him go out there in the AFC Championship, in a Super Bowl, in postseason games with a bum ankle and injured. and light it up. So I feel like, not that anybody's overlooking any injury to Patrick Mahomes, but he's shown the durability factor is huge for him, and that he toughs through anything. So not that I would say it wouldn't impact him and his mobility, but like, we won championships with him on one leg. So I don't feel like anybody is truly concerned about that injury. There's not much been said about it. I'm sure they're paying attention to it. He's probably had a light load this week in practice, but when the lights turn on Monday Night Football of all times, 15 is going to be ready, and he's not going to be feeling any pain.
All right, Danon Hughes, you will be on the broadcast on Monday night here on KMOX. The broadcast starting at the pregame show starting at 6:00 here on KMOX. The kickoff at 7:15. Chiefs and Bucks at Arrowhead. We appreciate it and enjoy the game.
All right, you guys have a great weekend, and go Chiefs.
Danon Hughes, Kansas City Chiefs radio analyst. Again, you can hear the game right here on KMOX, and it will be on Monday night. We'll talk some baseball. We'll do that. I got Bernie Miklasz with me until 1 o'clock, and Mike Claiborne will join us next. Chris Ranji here on KMOX.
A person makes the time for what they love.
And we make the space. 1-800-GOT-JUNK makes the space.
We make the space for possibility.
The space for yoga.
The space for lifting weights.
The space for dancing.
The space for living your best life.
And what does a person need to do to make all this happen?
All you have to do is point.
We make space for possibility.
When you want to make junk disappear,
call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
At 11:30, we have sunshine and 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. Here are some of the stories we're following. Iran is rattling the nuclear saber, and there is movement with the Boeing strike. There is ongoing concern in Fredericktown following this week's explosion and fire at a battery recycling facility. A check of traffic at this hour for northbound 55 drivers at Broadway. The left lane is blocked. That's due to an accident. Also, the left shoulder is blocked as well. And emergency crews on the scene westbound 70 past 141 due to an accident. And for, it looks like right now, also you've got some emergency vehicles on the right shoulder in that area. So be careful, because there looks like there might be some moving emergency vehicles working with that accident. There are forecasts for this afternoon, sunny day. Afternoon high 63 degrees, for tonight clear and 43, and then tomorrow it will be partly sunny and 66 degrees. 53 right now in St. Peter's. It is 54 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch it is 54 degrees. I'm Maria Kina, in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DelHelpMeNow.com. That's DelHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DelHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
Seeing the world around you is so important. So take care of your eyes. And why would you trust them to just anyone? The best doctors to see for your best vision are the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry. The Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are experts in diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. Things like dry eye, cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma. They do LASIK surgery at Ophthalmology Associates. And yes, they can check your eyes to see if your prescription is still the right one for you, for your glasses and contacts. This will be the most thorough eye exam that you have ever had in your life, because really your eyes are a window into the health of the rest of you. So please take care of your vision and see the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000, or make your appointment today at youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Join us for the Urban League's 20th anniversary Salute to Women in Leadership Gala on Saturday, November 9th at the Marriott downtown. Get your tickets now at ulstl.com. Don't miss this memorable night when we honor Emmy recipient Lynn Whitfield with entertainment by Kenny Lattimore, Regina Bell, and Angela Winbush. Go to ulstl.com for tickets. ulstl.com for tickets now. See you there.
Bernie Nicholas joins the Chris and Amy Show Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11:35 on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Every Friday morning after the 11:30 news, we talk to our guy, Mike Claiborne, part of the Cardinals broadcast, who is with us on KMOX. Again, we do it all the way through the offseason as well on the Quiver River Electric guest line. We talk to our guy, Claibs. How we doing today, sir?
We are doing well, moving around town just a little bit, anxious about next week, and cannot wait not to be able to see another political ad.
Well, can't wait to not hear another political ad. We got a guy here in studio that has a thing or two he wants to say to you.
You know, I love Mike Claiborne. We've been friends for decades, right? One of the first guys in St. Louis to befriend me, to feel sorry for me. But it's reached the point, Ranj, that I want to thank you because apparently the only way I'll ever hear from Claiborne is if I come in here in the studio when he's due to come on. So thanks for making it possible for me to talk to Mike Claiborne again. I'm Bernie Nicholas, Mike. I'm just teasing you, man. What's up?
Oh, man, you know what? Listen, you can ask Steve Moore. I was talking to him the other day. I said, listen, you got to put me and Bernie together. We have to do something.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my true longest friends in town. He got here, and for some reason we clicked, and we have this bizarre sense of humor that most people don't get, but we amuse ourselves to the point where I miss you. And we don't see each other as much, but you're always on my mind, and I'm just so glad you're back at KMOX, and we're going to do something together at some point. And if we don't amuse anybody but ourselves, then that's everybody else's problem.
I can't wait, and I know we will do that. And thank you for your warm wishes. I'm the happiest man alive just to be back at KMOX. People have no idea what it means to me. Seriously, it's the perfect way as I wind down in my career. And I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. But if this is the last radio gig I ever have, perfect.
Well, you know what, Bernie? The thing is about you that I think in being involved in a show like this with Chris today, you're not just a sports guy. You kind of like a worldly guy. I remember that eclectic music collection that you have, and you're a guy that can recite about a lot of different things. And being on a show like this is right up your alley, man. And to have you back and have you having fun, man, that's what this is all about, because that's what we're here for, man. I try and tell people all the time, I just show up looking to have a good time. Whether it's a ball game or being on the radio, I'm just having a good time. And if it works out for everybody else, so be it.
You show up to have a good time wearing a nice suit or a nice blazer that none of us, I mean, Bernie and I are not doing that at all. I mean, look at us.
That's an understatement.
Look at us. We're just, we just got out of bed. Not together, but we just got out of bed, you know?
And
well, yeah, I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Claibs, the way I roll, and it all changed during COVID, all right? I don't leave the house unless I have to, right? Pretty much. And when I do, I pay no attention to what the weather is outside because I'm going to be walking outside, and if I may use the St. Louis vernacular, I'm going to be walking outside wearing sharts, okay?
Sharts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
I mean, my wife, who you know very well, if we go to a restaurant, she says, "Look, you can't wear shorts. Okay, you gotta." Is jeans okay? Yeah, you can wear jeans. It's okay. I'm sorry, Claves. I had to get that in.
Hey, I get it, man. I got to tell you, man, COVID obviously had an impact on all of our lives. And we're all bound in the house. And my significant and I, you get to know somebody. And so I was literally chomping at the bit to be able to put on a sport jacket or go somewhere. And all of a sudden I started getting funeral notices about different people who had passed. And you got to wear a mask, but I could go find a suit to put on because I had to get out of the house. It was kind of like, and you remember The Sopranos when Uncle Junior was on home restriction and he was going through the obituaries trying to find a reason to get out of the house. That was me. That was me trying to get out.
Outstanding.
I kind of wish I was a blazer guy. Just a daily put on a blazer. I don't have the energy for it.
Yeah, you were the kind of guy that would want to have the patches on the elbow so you wouldn't wear it out because you wear that same blazer every day.
That's probably right. Like a college professor.
Yeah, get a pipe.
Oh,
Maybe get a pipe also. Maybe you can break out with an ascot.
Bring it back. Yeah.
Where do you even get an ascot?
Yeah.
Bring it back. Make it start to come back.
Where do you get an ascot?
You can probably go online and find one. Trust me.
I'll see if they're expensive or not. Mike Claiborne with us. Bernie Miklasz is sitting in with me for Amy today, who's out. She'll be back Monday.
Again?
Yeah, man. Have you ever seen anything like it?
It kind of reminds me of the last years of Johnny Carson, where he'd only be on like 2 days a week, and then there was some guest host who was filling in. It kind of reminds me of Amy.
Yeah,
always gone.
She's got a good excuse today. I think somebody died, but she'll be okay. She'll be back. Listen, Claves, you watched the World Series. Bernie and I talked a little bit about it. Yesterday. I mean, I'm not really surprised at the outcome. I don't think you could be because both teams are really good. But as you watched them both, could you take anything away that is applicable to the Cardinals as they try to, get themselves right again?
Boy, it's a good question. I think the way the Dodgers built their ball club, they went out and bought a lot of talent. There's no question about that. But they had some guys within their organization, and they developed pitching. And pitching was the difference in the series. Most of that pitching was homegrown. And when you have homegrown pitching, you can go out and spend money on other things because if you had to go out and buy pitching, it's going to be hard for you to compete on every position because the pitching costs more than anything else. And I thought fundamentally the Dodgers are really good. And I think I told you on the show, I predicted them to win the whole thing, but I thought they would be playing Cleveland because I didn't think the Yankees were that sound when the Cardinals faced them earlier this season. They were sloppy, and we saw them be sloppy in this series against the Dodgers, and they paid dearly for it.
You make two great observations, and I happen to agree with them. Sorry, they're for all that they spend, and it clearly it helps 100%, but it's also not a guarantee. And one of the things I think the Cardinals can look at the Dodgers and say, you know what, we're never going to have that kind of payroll, but let's look at where their farm system is rated. That's a team that in a way doesn't have to worry so much about the farm, but yet they've got the 5th best farm system in Major League Baseball. And they're constantly graduating good young pitchers and hitters to the major leagues. And it gives them a foundation. Then they go out and get the big ticket guys. And the Cardinals or other aspiring teams can look at that and say, don't forget about the farm system. It's vital, even for the wealthiest team. The other thing, you got it. That World Series may have been decided very, very much so by the team that played cleaner baseball. The Yankees have been a mess all year, and they never cleaned it up. And the Dodgers are sticklers on the fine points of the game, the details, the defense, the base running. Mookie Betts, good luck trying to get a double on him. He's on the ball immediately. He throws the right base. Where you got Soto out there in right field, he's out there turning, singles into doubles and doubles into triples, and that's just one example. But the fundamentals really do matter, especially at a high level like that, where you have a wealthy franchise you're playing against with a huge payroll. Well, who's going to be the smarter team? and we found out who that is.
Yeah, I agree. And, when you think about the Dodgers, think about all the pitching that they're going to have coming back that we didn't even see because of injury. And I'm looking at Jack Flaherty, and I'm saying to myself, boy, Jack turns in a good game, they may offer him a long-term deal. Well, it didn't work out for him, and they may still keep him, but they don't have to with all the guys that they have coming back that they don't have to pay as much money to. So it's something that when you look at the Dodgers, who spend a lot of money on the field, but Bernie, and you know this, from a development standpoint, they have more people in their operations department than anyone in baseball. I mean, it's 3 or 4 times larger than most teams. And I think it shows off because of the way they pay attention to detail. They have the right manager in Dave Roberts. They give him a lineup. He manages that lineup and manages the pitching staff. He rolled the dice rolling out that bullpen start, but he knew he had some horses waiting for him in Game 5, and it paid off for him.
I've talked about this a lot. I think I'm sure you've been a part of these conversations, but I love Game 6. To me, there's so much drama in that because you don't really know if the season's going to come to an end on that day. You don't know if you're going to get another game. And I was hoping we would get there. This is watching this postseason. Generally speaking, I think it was a pretty good postseason, Claibs. You could probably argue that it was, the World Series wasn't as competitive, but the postseason for the most part was a lot of fun this year. And we saw, it could be a number of different things, but we saw it reflected in ratings, I think, a little bit in the World Series, which were tremendous ratings. They did really, really well. Of course, you got the 2 big markets, but I think there was a lot of buildup from the postseason leading into it as well.
Well, throw in the fact that you had Detroit, Kansas City, Cleveland, teams with small payrolls that found themselves giving some of the better teams and bigger payroll teams all they can handle and then some. Because we had a lot of money in the playoffs. When you think about the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Padres, I know I'm missing another team that has a big payroll, Atlanta. And then you have the other guys who show if you develop your own players, you have a chance. Now, they didn't have as much experience as I'm sure they would like to have had. Maybe they didn't have enough winning players. But, man, I think it made it for a great playoff where you had a little bit of everything. And I hope baseball can take advantage of this and really grow their brand even more. You have the most recognizable athlete in baseball in Ohtani. You have Judge. You have some really good people you can build around from different parts of the world. And if you can build on that, man, maybe baseball can get back to that top spot as being America's favorite sport.
Yeah, and their fans, Claibs, there's been some interesting stories written about this. Like, their audiences are starting to trend a little younger, and baseball needed that. So it is an interesting time. Can I ask you, I don't think anybody was surprised with the decisions the Cardinals made yesterday, not declining options on Lynn and Gibson and Middleton. But number one, what do you think of that now that it's official? And number two, when you look at a potential starting rotation, and we're not entirely sure whether Sonny Gray will be here or not. I have a feeling he might be here. But what do you feel about their ability, their wherewithal to put together a solid or even better than solid rotation for next season?
Well, it's a great question. And I think they have more pitchers than they have spots for in the rotation, which gives them some flexibility to either move a guy or eat a contract, things of that nature. Losing Gibson, I think they may double back on him because he's a guy who lives here. I thought he was a huge asset for this ball club on and off the field. And I think he can certainly help this team, if not help baseball. I never saw Kenyon Middleton pitch enough to tell you whether he can pitch or not. Lance Lynn gave you everything he had, and I know he wants to pitch next year. I'm not sure if there's enough room at the end here in St. Louis for him, but I think Lance Lynn can help a ball club, especially if you're trying to develop young players. Now, with regard to the rotation, well, you know what? You drafted a lot of first-round pitchers in your recent drafts. It's time to find out whether they can pitch in the big leagues or not. So you might as well run them out there because I'm not sure if there's that much for them to do, much more for them to do in the minor leagues as we know it. Run them out there. And if they can pitch, hooray for us. If they can't pitch, then, we have to pivot and figure something out.
Claibs, what are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Well, I am going to have lunch with a dear friend of mine, go home, take the dog out for a walk, have a dinner engagement this evening with another good friend I haven't seen in a while, and just kind of chill for the weekend, man.
That's a
just
full
chill
day.
for the weekend and, take a nap. Probably take a nap somewhere along the way.
Yeah, a nap's great.
And, man, naps, the older you get, now I understand why older people like taking naps, and maybe I'm just getting older, but there's nothing better than 35 to 45 minutes of quiet.
Oh, yeah.
And you wake up. I learned that from Mike Shannon. Mike Shannon said, hey, listen, if you want to run in this business, you got to find a way to take a nap during the day. I did not know that meant taking a nap during the day means you could stay up until 3 and 4 in the morning every day. But apparently the Moon Man could do it.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot from Mike. That was one of them. Take a nap.
Claves, love you, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
See you, man.
All right. Hey, Bernie, great to hear your voice, man. And we will connect sooner than you think. I promise.
Looking forward to it, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Take care.
Mike Claiborne, he will join us again, as he always does, next Friday after the 11:30 news. I got Bernie Miklasz sitting in with me until 1 o'clock today on KMOX.
Are you tired of those unwanted, stubborn areas of fat? Do you want to lose up to 2 inches of that fat quickly and safely? Hi, this is Dr. Michael Glickert at St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and we offer the latest breakthrough treatment in fat reduction without surgery through our incredible Lumara body contouring program that gently melts fat naturally, eliminating it from your body. If you want to lose inches on your thighs, arms, waist, stomach, or back, take advantage of our limited time offer of just $69 for your first treatment, which is valued at $300. You heard that right. Just $69 for your first treatment. Visit us online at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I admit I was skeptical about body contouring at St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, but I figured, what do I have to lose except apparently inches, because they already helped me lose 40 pounds. And then they took before and after pictures while I was doing body contouring. I did 8 treatments and you could totally see the difference. So take advantage of this limited time offer, just $69 for your first body contouring treatment, regularly $300, by calling 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Chatting today with Debbie about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. Now, Debbie, you had a huge project. How did it go?
My experience was wonderful. I worked with Taylor, and if he was my son, I'd be very proud.
That's quite the endorsement. What were the details of your project?
I had 2 bathrooms done, a new kitchen, and a pretty large flooring project.
And did they get it done in the time frame you were expecting?
Well, it took 2 weeks because it was a big job.
Did the quality of work meet your expectations?
Yes, it was excellent.
Would you recommend 3-Day Kitchen and Bath to someone that was deliberating on redoing their kitchen or bathroom?
I would, and I have already.
Sounds like you'd give them a 5-star rating.
I did.
There you have it. Another 3-Day Kitchen and Bath satisfied customer. Request your in-home consultation today at 877-229-8829 or online at 3daykitchen.com.
It's about time at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Can't make it to Kansas City for the big game? No problem.
Kelsey, 3-point stance to the left. Here comes an inside blitz.
Experience every Kansas City Chiefs game like you're in the front row at Ballpark Village.
25-20 downfield block. 10-5.
Join fellow KMOX Chief fans on game day and feel the roar of the crowd right here in St. Louis.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
Chiefs watch parties presented by Jim Beam.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. We are thrilled to announce that the Mid-America Carpenters Union is offering up to $10,000 cash to close to all McKelvey home buyers. Use these dollars for closing costs, upgrades, or buy down your interest rate. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to own a beautifully crafted home with McKelvey legendary quality. Act fast. This offer is first come, first serve. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jason Williams. It was a rainy day, and I got hit from behind by a lady that was doing somewhere over 100 miles an hour is what they were saying. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Everybody that I talked to kept saying the same name, which was Morgan & Morgan. I was on hold for maybe 15 seconds when they come back and said, Jason, we will absolutely take your case. As a non-tech savvy guy, any question that I had, if I called, text, or emailed, they got right back to me. They made it as easy for me as it could have been.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. We're just a phone call away. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Andrew Stoles, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
A pop in the shallow left. The New York Yankees, world champions, team of the decade, most successful franchise of the century.
That was 25 years ago. Bob Costas calling a Yankees World Series title. I've got Bernie Miklasz with me, Chris Ranji today. Amy will be back on Monday. And Bernie, the reporting from The Athletic came out yesterday afternoon that Costas is deciding to retire from play-by-play. There's supposed to be an official announcement on MLB Tonight on Monday. I think it's coming around like late afternoon or something. But what a prolific career. And it's not that I don't believe he's done with broadcasting altogether, but calling games looks like he's not going to be part of that anymore.
You know, I have a lot of thoughts about it, but I'll try to be concise as I can. First of all, this is a personal thing because I've been privileged to know Bob Costas for a long time and consider him a friend, and he's been very good to me, and we've talked a lot. And I've just been in awe of his career, as most people have, especially people in our business, just in awe of it, and just the whole arc of his career, the width of his career, the breadth of his career, the heft and the prominence and prestige of his career, and his versatility to do everything, and do it extremely well, including venturing into entertainment, having that great talk show late at night on NBC, doing radio starting out at KMOX. I think the best studio host ever in sports, and also, of course, doing all kinds of broadcasting, every major sport there is, except for maybe the NHL. He, has been a contributor on CNN. He can talk about any subject with anyone, and I love the fact that he's still with the MLB Network and is going to stay. Now, here's part two, if I could continue. Yeah. The thing that's tough about the business that I'm talking about the giants. I'm not talking about people like me at all. I mean, but I'm talking about the giants of the industry. When they reach a certain age, there's almost an assumption they're not what they used to be. People just sort of perceive it. It's like, well, he's 72, or this guy's 76, or Al Michaels is whatever he is. And so if they have any slips at all on the air doing a game, right? Any slips at all, where they would have had a slip, like Bob Costas has gotten criticized for that. Well, I'm sure that the 43-year-old Bob Costas had some slips, some gaffes in play-by-play. But when you reach a certain age, it's kind of everybody wants to make this big, huge deal out of it. And it's just the blowback is disproportionate to the offense of making a mistake on the air. And I always hearken back to what Jack Buck said. I'm not going to do his voice. I can't. But when Jack was dealing with serious health issues and as he got way up there in age, Jack would be the first to tell you that he wasn't what he was, right? This is the twilight of his career. And he would make a joke about it. And he would say, well, you got the best years of my life. Now you're going to get the worst. So he's talking about his career. I say I muff that. Yeah. You got the best years of my career. Yeah. And now you're getting the worst. And I just love what he said, because look, if we admire people for decades and they have given us so much pleasure, enjoy their work in sports media, and they are true legends and giants of the industry. If it gets towards the latter part of their career and maybe they don't have as great a fastball as they used to, so what? Yeah, can't we just enjoy what they've meant to us for our entire lives as sports fans? As media people, we get so petty with this stuff. It just drives me crazy. It really does.
That's Bernie Miklasz. We've got him for another hour here on the Chris and Amy Show. I'm Chris Ranji, and we will talk a little Cardinals offseason when we come back on KMOX.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Join Friends of Kids with Cancer for their 30th annual fashion show and boutique on Thursday, November 21st at the Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis. Childhood cancer patients are treated to a red carpet fashion experience as they dance and strut down the runway. With celebrity guests, auctions, raffles, and boutique shopping, it's a joyous day to help Friends provide programs and services to families facing childhood cancer. Luncheon and dinner shows are available. Learn more at friendsofkids.org. That's friendsofkids.org.
At 12 o'clock, we have sunshine and 55 degrees. Downtown at the Arts and News is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. I'm Maria Akina in for Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, Iran rattles the nuclear saber. CBS's Vicky Barker is in the foreign desk in London.
A top advisor to Iran's supreme leader has said Tehran could be pushed into building a nuclear weapon if Israel threatens its existence. Kamal Karazi told Iran's Student News Network the country has the technical capacity to build the bomb, calling into question Iran's repeated insistence that its nuclear program is for purely peaceful purposes. Israel has repeatedly targeted Iran and its proxies in recent years, with Iran lobbing hundreds of missiles and drones into Israel. The confrontations intensifying since the start of Israel's war in Gaza. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Former President Trump is calling former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who is one of his most prominent Republican critics, a war hawk, and he's suggesting that she might not be as willing to send troops to fight if she had guns shooting at her. Cheney is responding by branding the GOP presidential nominee a cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. CBS News campaign reporter Zach Hudak is following the latest on how this will play into the campaign cycle with just 4 days left before the election.
On this particular issue with Liz Cheney, we've seen Liz Cheney on the campaign trail, a strategy from the Harris campaign to try to bring over some of those moderate Republicans who might object to some of Trump's rhetoric or might actually worry about what Trump would do if he were president again. Liz Cheney talked extensively on the trail about the danger she saw in a second Trump presidency. So this does, I think, play a factor for some of those voters. I think the voters who this probably resonates the most with, though, are women who VP Harris is leading tremendously by.
CBS correspondent Jim Krasula tells us about how there are big concerns south of St. Louis.
Neighborhood residents remain concerned after an explosion and fire at a battery recycling facility outside Fredericktown, Missouri, about 2 hours south of St. Louis. The EPA continues monitoring air quality in the area. This man has long worried about the plant.
I hope it's gone for the community. This should not have never been put in.
The facility does provide 70 jobs in the rural area of southeastern Missouri. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
The morning, a St. Charles County judge made a swift ruling on a lawsuit about whether poll watchers and challengers can observe the early voting process.
The lawsuit was dismissed on procedure after it was determined it did not qualify properly as a temporary restraining order under Missouri law. Here's Travis Hines, who brought the lawsuit, answering whether or not he will refile.
I really haven't put too much thought into it. I was hoping we would get to hear the merits today. Obviously, that issue is still there. I'll take it under advisement, and then I will see we have to go from there.
Kevin Killeen, the communications director for St. Charles County, spoke afterwards on behalf of Rory O'Sullivan, the county councilor for St. Charles, and he says that the plaintiffs failed to show immediate harm, which is why the case was dismissed.
Even the plaintiff in this case says there's no whiff of any irregularities, that things seem to be moving along pretty smoothly. You might say almost as quickly as getting in line at Ted Drew's.
Outside the St. Charles County Courthouse, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, striking Boeing machinists are set to vote Monday on a new contract offer from the company. Some strikers, though, are not so impressed.
They're going to get a no vote from me. They've used legal mumbo jumbo, but no, it's the same offer as last time, up slightly.
The new proposals call for a 38% wage hike over 4 years and better bonuses. A check of the Dow at this hour, it's up 373 points at 42,163. A check of traffic at this hour. It looks like right now crews are working with an accident, and it is eastbound 70 at 370. It's on the right shoulder, though. All lanes are open, and for northbound 55 drivers at 3200 South Broadway, the left lane is blocked there by an accident. Dave Murray has our forecast.
The fall feel in the Northwest flow in play on this Friday afternoon, the 1st of November. Sunny skies, 62 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, 43 for the overnight low. Evening temperatures will quickly drop into the 50s. Kind of a 50-50 weekend on the way. Saturday, partly sunny, delightful afternoon, 66. Lots of clouds moving in Saturday night and Sunday. Periods of rain and thunderstorms, 72. And periods of rain and thunderstorms around Monday and Tuesday. Don't forget, before going to bed Saturday night, we set our clocks back. 1 hour. Sunset on Sunday will be a little bit before 5 in the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It is 54 in St. Peters, 55 in Florissant, 55 downtown of the Arch. I'm Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show, sponsored by St. Louis University Billikens Basketball. Choose your seats for 5 or more games and receive savings off the single game ticket price with a 5-game mini pack starting at $75. Purchase now at slubillikens.com.
The pitch by Matz. There's a line drive caught at third by Fermin, and now this game has come to an end as a Redbird winner. 6-1 the final today.
That, what you heard, was the conclusion of the 2024 Cardinals season, the Major League Baseball season. Now for about 36 hours has been over. 20, 40, I can't do math is not, Bernie, I can't do math. But I know that the baseball season is totally over with the Dodgers winning their 8th World Series title. Bernie Miklas is in for Amy Mark's course for today. I'm Chris Ranji, final hour. Chip Carey joins us at 12:30. As part of our no pick'em challenge, our no prize pick'em, we're just going to pick football games. We're going to pick winners.
That's going to be fun.
And there are very low stakes, Bernie. You get nothing if you win. You get nothing if you lose. That's it. You know,
I got to tell our audience, Ranji, he very politely put me in my place, because here's what I am. I'm a preparation freak. I'm like, well, what games? Because I want to take a look at the games real quick, right? And I have a way to get to some information really quick, and I'm like, well, what game? And he's basically said, don't worry about it. We just kind of wing it.
We do.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I'm good with that.
Let me tell you the secret about our no prize pick'em. I always include the Bears. I always include the Chiefs, except when it's a Monday night game, because we don't include Monday night. I always include the Cardinals and the Rams, just so people can, hate pick against them. And we'll have the Packers included, because for some stupid reason, there are a bunch of Packers fans in this city. They're this dingus John Camp back there.
They're everywhere.
One of the producers today.
They're everywhere, though.
What are we doing?
It's an amazing colony of football fans.
It's a colony, all right.
And I've told this story before, and I'll be very quick about it. When I was a football writer traveling all the time, I remember the first time I went to Lambeau Field, I was like freaked out. It was so incredible. But every time I would, in the media parking lot, it's close. It was close enough, but you're going through all the tailgate parties. They loved me in Wisconsin because I'm a big guy and I look like a guy, 6'3.5", won't mention the weight, various weights through the years. But they see this big guy lumbering, carrying this big backpack. They know I'm a press guy. And they're like, big guy, come on over here. We got some brats.
Cheese. I know it.
We got some brats.
Yeah.
What do you, and it's just like, and then I'd have a bratwurst and thank them. And then, well, here's a beer. I said, I can't have a beer. They'd make me take it. And I just put it in my pocket. I'd go 10 more yards. And then somebody's offering me something else. I mean, hey, big fella. They loved me.
That's what I've heard. We were talking about Kansas City and how they tailgate.
Yeah.
And I have experienced that personally, and it is great.
They
know what they're doing.
It is.
I think it's probably more sophisticated now than when I was there many years ago. I've heard the exact same thing about Lambeau Field, and because they're in the middle of a neighborhood,
they are.
People live like in the backyard. It's across the alley. It's insane what that environment looks like. And from everybody I've ever met, and I know a lot of Packers fans, I know people with season tickets, and they just said it's unreal. It's unreal what they do.
Like the 300 yards or so I had to walk to get to the press entrance. There were a couple times at Lambeau Field where being grabbed to come tailgate, the 300 yards, 400 yards walk. I think I had the equivalent of like 3 full meals just in that just that short walk.
Oh yeah.
And they wouldn't let me go. No, hey, we got some chili, wonderful place. Wonderful place.
I despise the Packers, but that thing they have going on up there is pretty cool. The fact that it's not a major market. It's Green Bay.
It's so different.
And they have this franchise. I think it's really an awesome deal otherwise.
Do you know the team I hate the most? And people will be disappointed that I'm not going to say the Rams, okay? And that's okay. I didn't watch the game last night. I don't watch any New York Jets games. I can't stand the whole Aaron Rodgers soap opera.
I can't either.
It has nothing to do with whatever his views are on this or that or this or that, right? It has nothing to do with that. It's just the personality and the sense of entitlement and the way he throws his power around in a way where nothing really comes out of it good for the team. If it wasn't for a strong general manager in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, who stood up to him to an extent, Aaron Rodgers would have ruined the Packers for a long time.
I agree.
And then all of these people, I always hate the New York media cliche, but he goes with the Jets. It's just going to be great. They're finally going to win a Super Bowl. And he's done nothing but go in there and to try to destroy everybody, including like the culture, the coaches, everybody. It's all about him. All about him.
Well,
and I will not watch a Jets game under any circumstances.
They did get the win last night.
I hate it.
I hate it too. I hate it too. I cannot stand Aaron Rodgers. But he has beaten the media 3 times this year. So he's 3-6 against the media, which is good. That's the thing about him. And again, he was the Packers quarterback. And there was a couple of years ago when he was still with Green Bay and he at Soldier Field, he brought him back and he won the game for them. And he's taunting the fans in Chicago. He's yelling at them, "I still own you." And in the moment, I thought that's pretty cool. He sucks. He's a horrible human being. I hate him as a quarterback because he keeps beating my team. But that right there, he deserved to be able to do that. He does own them. But just since then, just the media's responsible. Media's out to get me. Media this, media that. Come on, dude.
Media props him up. Nobody's out to get him.
Look, man, the fact they are 3-6 is largely on him individually. It's not the media causing them to be 3-6. It's him.
But it's also the corrosiveness behind the scenes. The fact that Nathaniel Hackett's his boy and he can't one of us in the studio could be as good of an offensive coordinator as that guy. He's complete dolt. But he's a Aaron Rodgers lackey. He's an Aaron Rodgers stooge.
Yeah.
He'll whatever Aaron Rodgers wants. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's like, so, he had to be part of the Jets deal, and they finally removed him as offensive coordinator. But he's got to be surrounded by yes men. Oh, you're
Always.
great, Aaron. You're great, Aaron.
Always.
Robert Saleh, who got deposed, as you know, he made one comment, what I thought was innocuous, because I was reading Mike Tanier, who, by the way, is an incredible football writer, and he's got an Aaron Rodgers thing, which, like, he just goes off, right? And he's really smart about it. Aaron Rodgers made one comment about, or Saleh made one comment about, well, we're having some mix-ups, and we got to make sure we everybody's on the same page. We check into the right player, something like that. That's all he said. And that was after the England game. He was gone by when they were in London. He was gone by Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's like he crossed the line. You don't say anything. I don't care who you are. You do not say anything even remotely negative about Aaron Rodgers if you're in that building. He got the coach whacked in 48 hours.
Yeah, he did. And you know what? This was supposed to be a Cardinal segment.
That's all right.
But what was Rodgers? What has he done in the last 4 years? What's he done? He's been hurt a lot, not necessarily his fault, but when he's out there, he hasn't won. Why do you still have that power at 40?
He's an incredibly talented guy, or he has been for a long time, but he hasn't aged well in the job. And because he wants to be the general manager. He wants to be the team president. He wants to be the coach of everything. He wants to pick the roster. Win a playoff game, okay?
Yes.
Win
a playoff game.
Before you sort of plot your takeover of the Packers, like you're somehow going to have Mike Murphy or Mark Murphy, you're going to somehow have him taken away in the middle of the night. You're going to be running it all. Win a playoff game.
You know what, man? Bernie, this was a really cathartic go to hell Rodgers segment.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were going to do it today.
Win a
we
playoff
did it,
game.
and now win a playoff game.
And here's the deal. If I was still on the Pro Football Hall of Fame selection committee, which I was for 20 years, and I loved it, if I was in the room and Aaron Rodgers comes up, first year of eligibility, Hall of Famer, really one of the great quarterbacks ever. I would not put up with any guff in that room about people saying they don't like his personality, they don't like this, they don't like that. I think he's lost some stature. Easy first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, it's not even a discussion, but how sometimes people get a little, I don't like the guy. It has nothing to do about how I evaluate him, the career he's had, and the exceptional player he was for most of his career.
I might spite him, though, if I had a vote, just out of spite. Screw that guy. Hey, we'll do Cardinals, promise you.
Yeah.
We'll do that when we come back. Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-221-6319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care. 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navien's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Attention, Missouri Republicans. Donald Trump Jr. has endorsed Amendment 2. Don Jr. calls legalizing sports betting a no-brainer for Missouri. Right now, 38 states allow sports betting, including 7 of Missouri's neighboring states. Amendment 2 will give Missouri fans the freedom to bet too. And that means our money will stay at home instead of going to other states. Legalizing sports betting will generate more than $100 million for Missouri schools without raising property taxes. That's why our Republican candidate for governor, Mike Kehoe, is joining Donald Trump Jr. in supporting Amendment 2, generating more money for Missouri schools without raising property taxes, giving Missouri fans the freedom to bet on games. Donald Trump Jr. has it right. Voting yes on Amendment 2 is a no-brainer for Missouri Republicans. Join Don Jr. in saying yes on 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Getting ready for more rain and longer nights? We've got you. Right now, you can earn up to $25 in bonus rewards when you buy 2 Sylvania Silver Star Ultra bulbs and 2 Rain-X Quantum Elite wiper blades. More rewards and better visibility at America's #1 lighting destination, AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Offer valid for AutoZone Rewards members. Restrictions apply.
Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are ignoring kitchen table issues. Liberals are fighting to defund the police, indoctrinate kids, open the border, and put boys in girls' sports. I'm Ann Wagner. The people I talk to know better. Let's work for what matters most. Lower costs, parents' rights, and safer streets.
Ann Wagner is working for common sense solutions to the problems you face. She's challenged the big government machine in Washington and delivered a tax cut for middle-class families. Ann has stood with parents to defend their right to make decisions on the upbringing, education, and care of their children, protecting our kids from radical leftist indoctrination. And as crime rises, Ann has worked to protect our safety by fighting efforts to defund our brave police.
I'm Ann Wagner, and I approve this message. So pull up a chair, and together we'll turn the tables on Washington.
Fighting for your family. Ann Wagner for Congress. Paid for by Ann Wagner for Congress.
Conversations that hit close to home. From schools to your pocketbook. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji on KMOX. Again, Chip Carey joins us for the No Prize Football Pick'em Challenge. We do every Friday at 12:30. So I wanted to get into some Cardinals offseason,
Sure.
and we sort of touched on it a little bit, but the Cardinals did decline options for Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn and reliever Keenan Middleton. We know they're going a different direction. It's just a question of how dramatic of a different direction they go during the offseason. But Bernie, I don't think that you can overstate, in my opinion, how different this offseason for the Cardinals will be compared to ones we're used to.
There's no doubt about it. In my, historical perspective standpoint, from that standpoint, this will be the most, the most important offseason because it's so dramatically different. Since, oddly enough, the year that Bill DeWitt and his partners bought the team, they actually pretty much had that sale, that purchase from Anheuser-Busch locked up by Thanksgiving or like early December, but it wasn't approved and announced until like it actually crossed over into 1996. But Bill DeWitt reinvented the franchise because Anheuser-Busch they were preparing to sell, and they've been spending less and less money. I know all the baseball people were really frustrated. And also the fans were staying away. It was really kind of a mess. And Bill DeWitt and his guys and women came in and made an immediate impact. And I'm not going to go through it all, but if you go to Baseball Reference and look at all the new players they had in 1996, pitchers, hitters, Tony La Russa, Dave Duncan, Dave McKay, I mean, on and on and on. And they win the division in his first season and as manager and owner. And then the rest is kind of history. The McGuire thing, it wasn't successful as far as winning games, but incredible show for people in St. Louis, incredible. And so all of a sudden Busch Stadium is packed again. People are excited about Cardinals baseball. So it's interesting to me that Bill DeWitt's kind of in the same spot in a way from which he started when he bought the team, because the team's success rate has slipped, and it has slipped, and it has slipped. The fans are staying away. People are disgruntled. They're disappointed. They're disillusioned. They have to sort of find a reason to have that fully restored passion. So he's in the same situation that he was way, way back when, except now it's different because he's not the new guy. He's the guy that's been here for the last 29, 30 years. And some people wonder whether he still has it in him to do the right thing as far as like restoring the Cardinals to what they were under him.
Well, you're not going to get the grace period,
right?
That a new owner, a new regime would get when they come in,
right?
But if you hire a new president of baseball operations, which they have a succession plan here, Chaim Bloom's going to get some grace.
Sure, he will.
I would think from people. I don't look. If the World Series taught us anything, and it's not it's a bit of a dangerous thing to take one series and then try to extrapolate from it and say, well, see, this is how you have to do it. But the Dodgers, who won, who did invest a lot of money, and they have the resources to invest a lot of money, but they also did the other thing really well at the foundational level, the thing the Cardinals used to do really, really well. So when we talk about investment with the team, Bernie, especially early on, it's not just about payroll, though I do think that's going to be part of it. If you've put together a nice foundational core, it is your responsibility, I believe, to invest as much money as you can into payroll. But you got to start with that foundational level. You've got to catch up with some of these other teams that have been doing really well in investing in the minor leagues with more than, just a handful of coaches that go from place to place. You need a real infrastructure down there.
And that was the key to their sustainability for, from 2000 through 2015. Only the Yankees won more regular season games. Cardinals won more postseason games than anyone. Of course, 4 pennants and 2 World Series in the NLCS 9 times during that between 2000 and 2015. Most home playoff games, most home playoff wins of any team in the majors. And then he had built this great machine. He was way ahead of the industry curve. As an owner, he was way ahead of other owners in terms of recognizing there's a way to have an efficient payroll and still be really, really outstanding. But it requires, you got to find a better way, and you got to recommit, and you got to double down, triple down on your farm system, your player development, your player procurement, because you can go out and sign a player for $15 million who's no better than one that costs you $6 million. So why are you throwing money away? See, that's what the model that he had, and it worked for a long time. And I've used this analogy. Bill DeWitt and the Cardinals, that model that was excellent. They were the class of baseball for a long time. They became BlackBerry.
Yeah.
BlackBerry just dominated
Reluctant
the industry
to change
for a long time. Their revenues reached in 2011 $20 billion. Several years later, they were a period of time later, after the iPhone and all that, their revenue sank to $2 billion. And because they never adjusted, they never adapted. They're like, well, we got this figured out.
People want buttons.
Yeah, hey, look at us. No, we know what we're doing. We're not worried about that.
Yeah.
And they pretty much lost it all. They've kind of repurposed into some other things now, but I think there's an analogy there. I really do.
No, you're right. And there is a reality now that teams know that payroll is important, but they also know that the minor leagues and building that infrastructure, that's where you really need to be good. And they are investing a lot of money into it in various different ways. So the Cardinals, they may have been at one point the team that was doing it better than everybody else. Everyone else is catching up.
Or passing them by. And they listen, Bill DeWitt recognized that. And he and I have talked. I mean, he knows how I feel about it. I mean, like Cardinals fans feel about it. It should have never happened, kind of this deterioration. But I actually think he's recharged because I think he's really frustrated about the way it's gone. And that leads to some other questions about, you've kept the same people in place a long time, but whatever, he's turning it over now. And I think that that's at least a positive start.
That's Bernie Miklasz. I'm Chris Ranji. It is time for the No Prize Pick'em Challenge. We are going to do that with Drew, our listener who won last week. He returns to defend his victory. And Chip Carey will join the show as well. It's Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
The season of giving is upon us. To ensure every child can receive a gift this holiday season, Onderlaw is working with Toys for Tots to gather donations in the St. Louis community. All toys will be donated to the Bridgeton, Missouri Toys for Tots campaign. To participate in the toy drive, please bring new, unwrapped toys to the Onderlaw office at 110 East Lockwood Avenue, Webster Groves, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Ideas for donations include sports equipment, dolls, board games, toy cars and trains, stuffed animals, and books. The last day to donate is December 9th. Happy holidays.
At 12:30, we have sunshine and 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. Here are some of the stories we are following. Election officials in Georgia's third largest county say they are late in mailing more than 3,000 absentee ballots to voters just days short of the election. Cleanup underway in Spain after unprecedented rainfall. Tech earnings are now big drivers for the stock market this week. And Tuesday, the Department of Justice will be in St. Louis monitoring voting. A check of traffic. They're still working with that accident northbound Broadway, the 3200 Broadway exit. That's 3200 South Broadway there at the exit. This involves a MoDOT vehicle. No word yet on injuries, but try to avoid that area if you can. Our forecast for this afternoon: sunshine 63, overnight lows 43, and for tomorrow, partly sunny with a high of 66. Right now, it's 54 in St. Peters, 55 in Florissant, and downtown at the Arch, it's 55. I'm Maria Aquina, in for Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Who you choose to sell your St. Louis area home matters, especially in this ever-changing market. We all know a few realtors, but I only recommend one. This is Debbie Monterey, and for the past several years, I've gotten to know Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria's different, guaranteeing to sell your home at your agreed-to price, or Gloria will buy it herself. When selling your home, you want the most money and the least hassle, and that's exactly what you get with Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. For example, after 6 months, 2 separate agents failed to sell the Wheeler family's home. With no more time to waste, they decided to call Gloria Liu. Within a few days, Gloria was able to get them multiple offers and sold their home at nearly 99% of listing price because Gloria already had the buyers. The agent you choose to sell your home really matters. 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan with a quick reminder. Schedule that annual eye exam. Routine eye exams not only diagnose vision changes, but can detect systemic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, thyroid disease, to name just a few. Do what I do. Call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000. The doctors there, Greg Birdie, Ranj Malhotra, Samuel Berry, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, will provide you with the area's most comprehensive eye exam. These doctors can also help with dry eye disease, the result of staring at screens, flying in airplanes, or living in a dry environment. Dry eye sounds harmless, but it can cause inflammation, blurred vision, and damage to the eye surface that's sometimes difficult to reverse. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates are expert in diagnosis and treatment of dry eye disease. 314-966-5000, youridoc.com.
Ah, fall is here. Football, beautiful weather, and the changing colors of trees and shrubs. When you think of your trees, call family-owned Gamma Tree Experts. Fall is a great time to prune and fertilize your valuable trees. Our staff of certified arborists will survey your trees to determine their needs. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree Experts at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Podcast The Bernie Miklasz Show today on the free Odyssey app and follow to receive Bernie's daily take on Cardinals, Blues, or whatever else is in the news. AUDACY.
Okay, boys, here we go. Hey, from the top now, let's go. Who's ready for some football? Football!
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
I'm so glad football season's back.
It's Friday, baby. That means it is time for the No Prize Pick'em Challenge. We do it every Friday after the 12:30 news through the football season. Bernie Miklasz is in. I'm Chris Ranji. Amy will be back on Monday. And we have with us today Drew, our listener who won last week. Congratulations, Drew. I think you got every single game right, and had the Bears not been stupid, you would have gotten every single game right. That was the only one you missed.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. Happy Friday. Good to be back.
Good job, Drew. I think that was the best result we've ever had on this so far. So congratulations to you. Let's see how well you do today, because you were going up against Bernie Miklasz, me, and Chip Carey, who is the voice of the Cardinals on the television side. And Chip is with us on KMOX. Good afternoon, Chip.
Happy November, guys. How you doing?
Hey.
What a bonus.
Happy November is right.
Get to talk to Chip Carey. What a bonus. Seriously. It's awesome.
It's Christmas season, guys. I don't know if you know that, but it is. All right, let's get started. Here are the rules. We're going to go through about 8 or so games. We'll see how many we get through. All you have to do is pick the winner. Just tell us who you're picking. You can tell us why. You can justify your pick. And then for the Sunday night game, that'll be our tiebreaker. You give us the winner, and then you give us the total amount of points that will be scored in the game. That's simple. That's all we do. And Drew, you know what you get if you win, correct?
Fame and glory, baby.
That's it. Fame and glory. You don't get anything else. So let us get started, shall we? We will start with the Arizona Cardinals, formerly of St. Louis, hosting the Bears, the stupid Bears. That will be on Sunday. It is a 3:00 game. Drew?
I have a lot to thank the Cardinals for even having me back this week. I think everybody else picked the Dolphins last week, and they won right at the end on a field goal. I was pretty fired up when that happened. The Bears, Ranji, I was definitely thinking about you when that play happened. The Bears are, I think, winless on the road now, and the Cardinals barely pulled it off against pretty bad Miami offense. I'm going to roll with the Bears again.
Oh, my guy. I thought you threw me a curveball. I'd already written down Arizona for you. All right, so you're going with the Bears. Fantastic. Chip?
I'm going with Cardinals. Kyler Murray's the quarterback. He was drafted by the Oakland A's to play baseball. My kid broadcasts for the Oakland A's, so 6 degrees of separation. I'm taking Kyler Murray and the points to knock off the Bears at home.
There you go. How's Chris doing, by the way?
He's doing great. He's coming home tomorrow, so we're all looking forward to catching up with him. He's really excited about Sacramento at 105 degrees for 90 straight days next year. But there are bigger fish to fry than that.
All right, Bernie, who do you have, Arizona or Chicago?
I'm going to go Chicago. I really like the way they took control of that game at Washington last week, and of course they blew it. And I think that if anything, that's just going to leave them hungrier. I think they're a rising team. I love the quarterback Caleb Williams is going to become. And he each week you see more and more. So I'll take the Bears.
Despite the fact Kyler Murray is having a really nice season, and despite the fact the Bears have the stupidest coaching staff in the world, and I will accept no arguments on this, they do. I'm going to take the Bears. I think they win this one. I think they have to win this one, or everything is over and I quit completely. Let's go. Let's go with the New England Patriots on the road against Tennessee. These two teams stink. Drew?
Hey, New England is another team that came through for me last week. Tennessee is awful. New England knows they're bad, but hey, I heard the Dodgers flew home on their plane, so I'm going to keep going with New England.
All right, the Patriots it is. Hey, Chip, what do you think?
This is one of those cream of the crap kind of games, huh?
Yes, cream of the crap. I love that.
Yeah, you're free to use that. I'm going to take Tennessee at home. I just feel sorry for them. They're 1-6, and Jim Evans is down in Nashville these days, so he needs something to cheer for in his new house. So I'm going to take the Titans going for their second win.
I love that, Bernie.
I'm actually going to go with my friend Chip. I'm taking the Titans too. It's just simply because I don't trust New England at all on the road, and I think now that Tennessee's woken up on a couple of things with their offense, I think they'll gut one out.
You know what? I'm going with Chip and Bernie on this one. I am also picking the Tennessee Titans at home to get their second win of the season. So let's see how that works out for all of us. All right. This one is also kind of there are a couple of really lousy games that are happening this weekend. The Saints got off to a pretty nice start, scoring a lot of points, but they are now 2-6. They will have the Panthers on the road. What do you think, Drew?
I think the Panthers are probably the worst team in the NFL. The Saints have scored a lot more points than them. I know they've lost 6 in a row, but it's going to stop here. New Orleans.
New Orleans it is. Chip Carey?
This is a game where the broadcaster should get paid double to have to commentate on it. I'm going to say it's going to be a tie game, 0-0. That'll be the final.
Wow.
A
tie.
So bad.
Chip is going with a tie. No winner on that one.
Yeah, the winner is if you don't have to watch that game in your market. You're the winner if you don't have to do that.
They won't even be on in Carolina.
Correct.
What do you think, Bernie?
I got to go Saints. Listen, the Panthers are so bad. You know the old expression, that team finds a way to win. This team not only finds a way to lose, every week they find a way to get blown out. I mean, they're just totally untrustworthy. So, yeah.
All right. Bernie is picking the Saints. I am also going to pick the Saints in this one. So, Chip with the bold pick of a tie. No one has ever picked a tie, and I love it.
Why not? What the heck?
I don't know. I love it. Why not? All right, here's a good one. The Broncos are playing pretty well behind Bo Nix, their new quarterback. They are on the road against the Ravens in Baltimore. Another MVP candidate type season for Lamar Jackson. As always, Ravens and Broncos. What do you think, Drew?
This is a really fun game. It's kind of hard to pick this one, I think, but at home, I'm going to take Baltimore, and I don't think the Broncos are really a 6-3 team. So Baltimore.
All right, good call, Chip.
Yeah, I'm with your guest on that one. How does a team with Jackson and Derrick Henry ever lose, right? Give the ball to Henry and let him be a bulldozer and just destroy the defensive line time after time. That guy's a moose, terrific player. Love watching him run the football because I don't have to try to tackle him. I think the Ravens handle the Broncos pretty handily.
All right, Bernie.
The Ravens have a great offense, and the problem is their defense has really deteriorated, and it's pretty glaring. That said, I don't think Denver has enough offensive upside to exploit that defense fully, so I'll take the Ravens, especially after they lost at Cleveland last week. I take them at home. That's an easy win for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's, to me, an easy rebound game. We are all in agreement on this one. The Ravens win against the Broncos on Sunday. Okay, here's another one. I don't really know what I want to have happen here. The Detroit Lions are a legit Super Bowl contender this season, and they are on the road at Lambeau Field against the Packers, who are 6-2 this year. Drew?
This is going to be a great game. Can't wait to watch this one. I just love that Lions momentum. Everything is working right for them. I'm going to take Detroit on the road. Big upset.
Detroit on the road. All right, Chip.
Yeah, I don't know how this one's gonna fare either. The Packers at Lambeau Field, they're always really tough. But man, I love Dan Campbell. If every NFL coach could have his personality and have his swagger and have his belief, man, what a job he's done in turning around that entire franchise. I love watching him coach that team. And I think he will find a way to will that club to victory on the road at Lambeau Field. The Lions, I agree with you, are a Super Bowl team. If everything goes right for them, that'll be a remarkable turnaround, not just for that team, but for that town too. So I'll take the Lions on the road.
Bernie?
The Lions are a fun team to watch, and they've also played really well at Green Bay in recent seasons. Like, for example, they lost the game there last year, but they rolled up like 470 yards, and they managed to lose it. Goff fumbled the ball a couple times. Jordan Love's really beat up, and I think Detroit takes this one.
Yeah, this has happened now multiple weeks in a row, 2 weeks in a row, where in consecutive games we have all picked the same winner. I am going with Detroit as well. As much as I wish they would slow down a bit, I don't see it coming. I made fun of the Dan Campbell hire when they made it, and my God, I would take him in a heartbeat over the crap that we have in at Soldier Field.
I think we all made fun of it just because of
just like
talking
the
about chewing off people's kneecaps
and
everything. It's just
like,
kinda-
oh, here we go.
Whoa.
This meatball. And he's turned into a really good coach.
He's excellent. He is.
Dude. All right. The Rams. You all know the Rams. They are on the road to take on the Seahawks. And in this game, the Rams are a road favorite by 1 point. What do you think, Drew?
I'm surprised to hear they're a road favorite over the Seahawks because I think all the signs point to the Seahawks winning this game. And honestly, I would pick the Carolina Panthers over the Rams. So we're going Seahawks.
There you go.
Yeah. I like the way Drew thinks. Civic duty, can't ever bet on the Rams. I'll take the Seahawks by whatever it takes.
All right. There you go. Bernie?
Seahawks, it'll be tight. It's Seahawks by about a field goal. And I think that home field will make a difference there. So I think the Rams have been out over their skis a little bit. I don't think they're as good as they've looked in terms of just winning some of the games they've won lately.
I think this is going to be a fluke game, fellas. I think the Rams get back to 500. I don't think they're that good either, but I think they win this one on the road. I don't know why I'm doing this. I feel really stupid for it, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I'm picking the Rams. They are the favorite. I think they win this one. Washington Commanders. This one probably seems fairly easy to pick, but you never know. The Commanders just off a miraculous fluke of a win on Sunday against the Giants in New York. Drew?
Again, man, I don't know how you can not go with Jaden Daniels and what Washington's doing right now. This may be a trap game, but the Giants have no running game. I can't not take the Commanders here.
All right, Chip?
Washington, yeah.
Yeah. The Giants can't throw it, can't run it, can't catch it, and can't stop either one of those things. So I think it's a pretty easy pick to take the Commanders pretty handily.
Stat Boy here's got one for you. At MetLife this year, the Giants are 0-4, and they've scored 31 points. And the Commanders' pass rush is on fire, and you know what that means for Daniel Jones. This is an easy one for me. The Commanders on the road.
Yeah, we are all on the same page on this one. Again, 3 times it's happened today. So Washington will win that one. Now we go to the Sunday night contest, and this one is the Indianapolis Colts on the road against the Vikings. And here's how it goes. You tell us who you think is going to win, and then give us the total amount of points that will be scored. The betting total is 46.5, with the Vikings at home a 5.5 point favorite. Drew?
Yeah, the Vikings lost a couple in a row here after starting undefeated. Again, maybe this is a trap, but I think the Colts are going to get a couple deep touchdowns, but they're not going to be able to outscore Minnesota here. Definitely taking Minnesota at home, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 48-point game.
All right. Chip Carey?
Yeah, I like the 48 number. I think that's pretty good. So I'll say 45 just to make it a little different. And I think the difference is, if you're pardon the pun, the skull players for the Vikings will make a difference in that game.
Okay.
I see, not that anybody cares about this, I see a lot of, and I monitor this stuff, I see a lot of sharp money coming in on Indianapolis, which surprised me a little bit. I think it's maybe the Joe Flacco effect. And I'm going to go with the sharps. Not that I'm betting anything, but I'm actually going to take Indy in an upset.
How many points?
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. I'm going to say 50.
50 points. High scoring game. I'm also taking the Colts. I have this feeling the Vikings are fool's gold.
Yeah.
I have this feeling that they're not really as good as 5-2. So I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts, and I am going to go with 40. No, I'm not. I'm going to go with, yes, I am. I'm going with 49 points. 49 points. There it is. That's it. So the points total will be the tiebreaker if we get to a tie at that point. Guys, this was a lot of fun. Drew, best of luck to you. Maybe we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Can't wait to keep coming back on the show. Thank you.
Oh, Drew's already
He's
predicting coming
confident.
back.
I like that.
Did you hear that?
I love
Get some
it.
swag. I like it.
Chip Carey, how's the offseason going so far?
My honeydew list is getting shorter and shorter. I need to go back to work so I can get some rest. I'm sure you guys can all understand that.
Okay, which of the to-do list, which one is the cream of the crap? Which is the worst?
Well, my daughter just got engaged, and we're having an engagement party, which is going to be exciting at the end of the month.
Oh, congratulations.
And thank you. He's a great dude. But putting together 5 boxes of patio furniture with an Allen wrench and one of those crappy little wrenches they give you with bad instructions, I would say that would be number one on top of the list. I only said a bad word 100 times.
Hey, you're Chip Carey. You should be hiring people to do that.
Man. My admiration.
No, my name you guys know me well enough to know that my name pronounced in French is cheap.
Okay.
I did it myself.
All right.
Can you send us some photos of what it looks like, or maybe have your wife snap a photo
Yeah,
of
we
you,
need to see.
like in the process, like you're gritting your teeth and it looks like you're about to smash something because you're so frustrated trying to put the thing together, right? Can we have that?
You guys have my guys have my number. Send me a text. I'll send you a picture of a pile of rattan patio furniture.
Awesome.
It was great. It was really terrific.
Well, good luck with that, my friend. Good luck with that.
Thank you, Chip.
Yeah, thanks. All right, guys. See you soon. Take care.
Cardinals broadcaster on the television side, Chip Carey. I've got Bernie Miklasz with me for a few more moments before the Dave Glover show starts. I'm Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Dell Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Dell's team live in St. Louis. 2 days only at the Hilton Frontenac, Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th. Register now at DellHelpMeNow.com. That's DellHelpMeNow.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. DellHelpMeNow.com. Code 2024.
Join us for the Urban League's 20th anniversary Salute to Women in Leadership Gala on Saturday, November 9th at the Marriott downtown. Get your tickets now at ulstl.com. Don't miss this memorable night when we honor Emmy recipient Lynn Whitfield with entertainment by Kenny Lattimore, Regina Bell, and Angela Winbush. Go to ulstl.com for tickets. ulstl.com for tickets now. See you there.
KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 23rd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events. I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Seidman Cancer Center Spotlight. The director of Seidman Cancer Center, Dr. Tim Eberlein.
The new building is going to be focused on clinical care and accrual to clinical trials, and it'll integrate radiology evaluation of patients.
Special thanks to Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to seidman.wustl.edu.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-253-6259. 800-253-6259. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-253-6259.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jules on Hampton.
I'm Tom Ackerman. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
They give to Peyton on a sweep to the right side. He gets the block from Reeve Sorry. Spins back inside. Ripped by one man. Still on his feet. Struggles away at the 20. Still battling. Breaks away at the 15. The 10. The 5 and down to the 4-yard line. Sensational run by Walter Payton.
That was Walter Payton. Walter Payton, 25 years ago today, passed away. It's weird how I never really come to terms with time and how it works. And when you think back on things that happened, and it's like, oh my God, that was 30 years ago. 25 years ago that happened.
I got to know him pretty well, all things considered, after his career when he was assisting the St. Louis NFL expansion drive.
Yeah.
He was with Jerry Clinton and that team. And a couple social occasions, just chatting with him. And it was a thrill because what a short list of one of the greats ever to play running back in the NFL. And he obviously left us way too soon. That was painful to witness from a distance.
Yeah, died of cancer. And I don't, the NFL is a lot different than it was when I was growing up. And I remember for me, Cardinals baseball was everything. Of course, it was the 80s. So, what else am I going to be into? And the football Cardinals were not very good. So baseball was everything. The older I've gotten, the more I have started to appreciate the game, even though it's different. It's not quite as violent as it once was.
That's for sure.
The rules are really catered toward offense, which I think is okay. I don't really have a problem with it. And I think the defensive players, Bernie, you watch a lot of the sport. I think they've adjusted to what the rules are, trying to stay away from hitting the head.
They have.
And all that stuff.
It's gotten a lot better. Sunday, I love to watch NFL football on Sundays. I do. And, every now and then there'll be some games I'm not that interested in, but I have the Sunday ticket so I can watch whatever I want. It automatically records every game. So I can go back if I'm being a night owl. If I want to watch a game at 1 in the morning, I'll do it, that kind of thing.
Good to have you in again.
I really love this. Thanks for inviting me. Really, really appreciate it. This was such a great time. It's good to get to know you better. It really is.
Yeah, you too, my friend. I mean, we didn't really cross paths that much at the last place, so it's good to see you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're different shifts, and it's really good to become friends. I really appreciate this.
So with you, every Tuesday and Thursday, Bernie Miklasz joins us after the 11:30 news. You'll be on with Dave Glover later on today.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock with Dave. Thanks for sitting in. That's Bernie Miklasz. I'm Chris Ranji. The Dave Glover Show is next. I'll stick around with them for a bit here on KMOX.
Are you tired of those unwanted, stubborn areas of fat? Do you want to lose up to 2 inches of that fat quickly and safely?